It is the stream once again, fellow users. Yes, yes. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the stream. It is a Sunday, spooky Sunday, and today is going to be a little bit of a grab bag of spooky garbage, you know? We've got potentially more... Well, I definitely want to look at more Harmony and Horror, that really great ARG that we found a little while ago on stream, and it was... And by really great, I mean it was basically ripping off Five Nights at Freddy's, and people in the comments were taking it seriously. I got a really interesting comment from, by all accounts, a regular viewer. It's like, I forgot, I'm not going to name and shame the viewer unless I see them in chat right now. Do I see them here? No. Okay. If they show up, I will point out who they are. But there was a regular viewer who left me a comment on the ARG stream, and it said something like, Claw is so zoomer-brained, and that's why I couldn't watch this. And something about how I clicked away the moment there was context happening. And I'm not really sure what he was trying to get at. All I know is that it's funny for somebody to tell me that I'm a zoomer for not appreciating ARGs. and spooky Five Nights at Freddy's jump scares. I guess that makes me a zoomer. I think that's what he was getting at. I don't know, but we'll maybe look at more of that. There's other ones people suggested. There's scary fanfics I would like to look at. There's like some horrible gory ones. What is it? There's like a fucking Backyardigans one, I think it is, where they like murder each other or something like that. And that could be pretty exciting. There's definitely some things. There's some things to be done. I'm taking suggestions. If people have things they want me to look at, you're free to point me to that in the thing. Doesn't have to be analog horror ARG stuff. If you just got like a weird channel and it's like, this guy might be a serial killer, check it out. You know, that kind of thing. One of those people who like they've got like 400 videos that are all 30 seconds long and they're just dark and like you just hear background noise and they all have like random weird names. Yeah, you know, if you got one of those, you know, let me know about that. That'd be fine. But yeah, no, I'm taking suggestions, and let me see. $20 from Rude. If you're an inch deep in your mum, and your dad is an inch deep inside you, are you going backward or forward to get out? Well, I mean, I think I would just go sideways, sir. I think it would work just as well if I went sideways. You know, I mean, this is what the fucking binary system of politics wants. They want you to either get fucked by your mom or your dad. You know, like I don't want either of those things. Thank you. I would rather not vote for either option. So I abstain. And yes, I know that a no vote is a vote for Trump. I'm aware of that, but I don't want to have any part in this process. So thank you for asking. $10 from Queen Nidus. Spooky Scowy Clawpaw time. That's right. It's time. We had a scary song to open us out. I'm really racking my brain over what songs are properly Halloween themed. I'll start listening to one and I'm like, this could be a good one. No. This is just like generally evil themed. It's not really specifically Halloween or anything. There's nothing specifically horror about it. But you know, I've got some good ones. I got some stuff up my sleeve. Definitely got to listen to some more great. What was it? Is it the Grave Robbers? The fuck is what the fuck is the Grave Diggers? Right, the RZA joint from back in the 90s. Right, yeah. Gotta listen to more of that. Maybe some ICP this month to start us out, but actually that would be good if you got any Juggalo content. You know, what better month for Juggalos than Halloween month, really? So send that my way too. But we're gonna get started here, and we got some things. I do have this Harmony and Horror, and we'll probably get to that. I would like to get to some of the other ARG stuff that I was recommended the other day, the last spooky stream we did. Some people were like, hey, check this one out, and I've got like 4 of them at least saved here. There might be other stuff people mentioned that I forgot to say, but I've got 4 of them saved here, and we're gonna look at one of them. This is do we want to do this one? What about this one? What about this one? What about this one? You know what? I'll go with this one. So this is let me see here. This is a channel called Gilbert Garfield. Well, that's the series. It's Farah One Productions. We are the animation company behind Gilbert Garfield and Friends, as well as many other fun IPs. Through a somewhat viral renaissance of the Gilbert Garfield cartoon, awareness was raised about our work that led us to acquiring this page. Below is the original description this account used, preserved for posterity. Some friends of mine in Hollywood discovered an old box of tapes they gave me when I graduated college. I recently went through them and discovered they contained episodes of the predecessor of Garfield and Friends, where Gilbert Gottfried, famous from Hollywood squares, played the titular Garfield. When I can restore clips, I will upload them here. So this is framed at least as somebody taking over this situation and uploading the clips, I guess, because presumably Gilbert Garfield killed the original uploader or something. I don't know, but you see they have a number of interesting stuff here. Leaked Minecraft streamer targeted for discussing Oyster Boy 206. And these are some interesting titles. They all feel kind of like, well, they all feel like horse ebooks to some extent. I don't know. Oyster Boy 2 press tour. Oh, it's Shia. It's Shia the Beef. Tim Burton on Oyster Boy. Oh, so this is a whole series. Oyster Boy promotional content. Gilbert Garfield baby. What? Gilbert Garfield Sonichu? What the fuck? Okay, we're going in without any context, boys. What does that say? The views expressed by the author of this fan mashup comic do not represent the views of Pharaoh One Productions or the intended philosophies of Gilbert Garfield and friends. Okay. Well, I mean, does Gilbert Garfield stand with the dirty trolls then? Then that's really a shame. That's really unfortunate to hear that.
Oh man, more a hedgehog Pokemon like myself. I can't wait.
There's voice acting, everybody.
Wow, I'm not the only one around here. I wanted some friends, but I didn't expect this much. MIC in triple. It's like being in a cocaine-glazed, mirror-filled green room for an old Hollywood film. Bless this day. More hedgehog Pokemon. Why is
Bless this day. So is this fan art?
Anyone speaking? Oh well, I'll break the ice. Hello, it's nice to meet you all. My name is Bubbles, and I'm wild. I was following this black guy on a board.
I'm delighted. My name is Angelica.
So is this like V made this or something? Who the fuck put this together? Is this an actual part of this like ARG? Are we intended to take this seriously and be theorized? I swear to God, if the comments have theories. We are dealing with at least 20 layers of advanced irony at play here. They can't keep getting away with it. Well, evidently they are getting away with it. The art is scarily accurate. So yeah, this is a rip-off of Chris Chan art. Wow, the text is right. The art is exactly correct. I mean...
Ta. You can call me Gilbert Garfield Sonic. We all exist in a multi-layered intellectual IP cosmos.
Oh.
It reminds me of the Universal Pictures Extended Monster Universe, arguably the first big crossover media event.
Oh my god, we've really gone full circle, unless you count all those naked and almost horny... Okay.
Unless you count all those naked and almost horny Renaissance paintings where you'd get all excited because you recognized an apostle talking to some king.
Don't hire the Scottish guy to do voice acting. What are you doing? What thoughts are going through your head?
Now that was a true Marvel Cinematic Universe, but in Universal Pictures, things started simple. You had Invisible Man, and then sequels where that man was now an invisible woman. Frankenstein had a wife or a cousin.
Maybe the dimensional merge is real. Who knows?
Until all of Boris Karloff's family was different.
Frankenstein's monsters? Where the real interesting forms
Maybe this
of
is AI.
universes collide was when, eventually, Abbott and Costello met both the Invisible Man and the Mummy in separate films. This is a blend of canons, a merging of universes within the Universal Picture universe. This is how I, as a Gilbert Gottfried Jewish comedian...
Alright, this is supposed to be Gilbert Gottfried, this character that sounds nothing like him at all, but is based on Gilbert Gottfried, Jewish comedian, who of course played Garfield before Garfield was a thing. And, yeah. This is quite something, yeah. The layers of irony. This is an interesting ARG because it doesn't appear to actually be one that's meant to be taken seriously, necessarily. I mean, maybe there's some elements that are meant seriously, but... I mean, who's to say that an ARG has to be this super down-to-earth serious thing? Maybe people can be theorizing about what this means even knowing that it's a joke. Maybe that's okay.
Hedgehog Pokemon. More than the sum of my mashup parts. I am the hidden truth.
Well, lucky there's a mashup cat.
Between the peaks of a smushing of parts. And by parts, I do not.
What is happening to the... Oh,
I
God.
do not.
Gilbert Gottfried is rolling in his grave. Well, that's the end of it. So... Was this an August... this must have been April 1st. No, February 27th. So this is not even an April 1st... This is not even... This doesn't even have the April 1st pass. Well, we gotta do leaked Minecraft streamer targeted for discussing Oyster Boy 2 06. Complete with Bandicam watermark on the top.
Swear to fucking God, I'm not messing with you. This is real. This is a real movie.
No, fucking isn't. What do you mean?
No, okay. It was just like, okay, I swear to God, I was at my cousin's place, right? So, this, I didn't choose to watch this movie, but it was just like this kid's movie from like 2007 or something that he was watching on Netflix. And I swear to God, it was Shia LaBeouf playing like this, it was this fucking oyster man. Maybe it was a clam.
Maybe it was a clam, so he's targeted. He's about to get... This Minecraft streamer is about to get rubbed out by the fucking mob. Or something.
Tortured.
The oyster
like,
mob.
Really horribly. Like, the whole movie was just like him getting harassed and abused.
Yeah. I don't believe the eugenic shit, though. That didn't happen.
What?
I mean, I swear to fucking God. The whole
What about eugenics? What the fuck?
Different pictures.
Trying to gaslight me and thinking this is like a Nazi movie made by DreamWorks or something.
No, this is a real...
fucking, yeah.
So, okay, yeah, there's like a lore here, I guess. There is a lore here. I think this is becoming one of my new favorite ARGs because it doesn't take itself that seriously. The theorizing we're meant to do is figuring out the true story of Oyster Boy 2. You know? I think that's I think I'm okay with that. You know, I think that's more. It's not asking so much of. It's original. You don't see a lot of comedy ARGs.
Your mouth.
It was the most racist thing I've ever seen. Like the whole thing was really dark. It didn't feel like a kids movie. It made me uncomfortable. Dude, my fucking cousin loved it.
Why did he start here? Lol, go to the start. Chat member. There are 63 videos. I'm never going to watch all of these videos. That's never going to happen. We're never going to have the full story here on this channel. If you would like the full story, you can go and look at the full story. But we are most definitely not going to get that. Let's see something inside him, though. This looks good. Okay, never mind. I thought that was like fucking psilocybin capsules. No. A lot of stomach relief. It's the Tums Festival up in here. Huh. Well, our character got something. Man, this isn't the strip loin steak that I ordered. This is just some guy's face in a bag. What's up with that? I guess we are supposed to take it seriously. It's spooky, everyone. It's a spooky horror. Tongue. It's the guy got a tongue, I guess. Or it's like a tiny heart. My menses! Oh, okay, never mind. It's just like some fucking sweet and sour chicken. Alright. Well, now that I know that it's just sweet and sour chicken or whatever, like, that actually looks pretty good. Now I want some. God damn it. But keep in mind, though, guys, we gotta theorize about this. The note said that this was inside him. So we have to assume whoever it was inside of ate some Chinese food, I guess, and this guy got to it before it could be digested, which is, it's a real bro move, you know? You gotta share your food. Somebody's like, I think I'm going to be sick. Really? Because this guy's playing around with some fucking chicken or something? Really? Okay. See, this is why ARGs are allowed to win. God damn it. This is why they get away with it. Flyboy.text. Oh, it all makes sense now. See, yeah, if I watched all of these, then I would understand the story. And that's true, but I also don't care that much. Sorry, Max, no more games. Sorry, PB, no more jelly. Sorry, G. Suffer like G did? I don't know how it ends, but I hope this little piece of me can live forever inside you. Now, guys, you can see that there's clearly there's 3 squares that are white in this field of other white squares, but these ones are more white. And so that, what does that mean? Did somebody fail to Triforce? What does that mean? What does that imply? I don't know what we're supposed to take away from this. Oh, we got a spooky! We got a spooky! Come on now. Give me that image. Give me that image. Give me that JPEG. Oh. What is this, like a bunch of fucking fat babies? Okay, it's like tardigrades or something. I don't even know what we're looking at. That's good. Oh, the desperate, desperate horror of he's opening the file! He's gonna click on the file! I don't know how much I'm supposed to actually be scared, but like, I don't know, that's kind of funny. Like, it just reminds me of the movie Unfriended. Well, the glitch just typed! Well, see, the real horror part here is Spirit Airlines, clearly. You know, yeah, I'm not watching the whole thing, obviously. There is a playlist. You can do Mecha Neko Soccer School. You know, there's lots of stuff. We'll probably look at more of it at some point. I guess we should do an actual Gilbert Garfield. We kind of did. We kind of did with the Sonichu one. This is, I guess, technically part of it, too. I would assume that if we just watch this, this will get us the story. Here we go, an uplifting European finale. If I have another chat member that's like, no, that's not the right one! It's like, bro, I clicked on the first one in the video. I don't know what to oh, wait, no, actually, that is the newest one. Oh, no, that is actually the finale. Actually, true. Alright, finale. I just thought it was weird that the first one was called finale, but no, 9 months ago. We start with introduction here. It's only 42 seconds. We start out. There's some third eyes here. Alright, this'll be the right one. This has got to be the right one. Okay. Austin began a capstone project. Yeah, CBC wants to archive Garfield, sure. Does CBC even, or fucking whatever company he said, does that even own, do they even own Garfield? Not CBC. I think it's NBC, isn't it? Okay, well, whatever. We got Gilbert and Garfield crossover. I mean, it's a crossover, too. It's not even just that Gilbert Gottfried is playing Garfield in this story. It's that it's specifically, like, Gilbert Gottfried, the character, the persona of Gilbert Gottfried, merged with Garfield. And that's supposed to be an official thing that they made, I guess. Okay, he's gonna post it on the channel, everybody. We're good. Gilbert Garfield... recovered clip number 1. We got a horrifying Gilbert Garfield face up here. And friends. This is when him and Odie killed John. So that's good. It's about time, really.
So I was watching this movie with Boris Karloff.
Oh my god, am I really watching a video game donkey video?
In it, he tells a story. and he tells about how only a disgusting Italian would invent lasagna. And the story goes, this old Italian grandma, which they call Nona, was so ashamed her pasta was only a big rectangle that she tried to hide it with...
Well, I mean, the visual style is pretty good, of the actual, like, cartoon parts of this. You've got, like, I mean, it does look like a cartoon of the era, recorded off of a VHS or something. One of the main complaints I had with one of the other ones, I think it was the Harmony and Horror one that we looked at the other night, was that it was trying to be like a VHS thing, but it was pretty clearly not actually a VHS tape. It was pretty clearly just digital footage that they slapped a filter on. And this might well also be that, but it looks a little better at trying to be what it is. I assume this Orphan of Kos looking motherfucker is supposed to be John. I would assume that this is John, and Odie is dead. I mean, Odie was supposed to kill John with Garfield.
You disgusting Italian would invent lasagna.
Okay, but John shot Odie. Okay. Well, then the title of this episode just wasn't really very accurate at all. Then.
Story goes, this old Italian
sit in arresto, Garfield.
grandma, which they call...
Per favor, mem le zampe in queste manette. Okay, well, I don't know what Garfield is accused of having done, but I mean, maybe they did kill. Maybe this isn't John. I guess this wouldn't be John. This is just a strange creature.
Oh, Nona was so ashamed her pasta was only a big rectangle that she tried to hide it with mozzarella, but it just looked like a Caucasian melty flesh.
Oh. I got it. Okay, so the aliens blow up Gilbert Garfield's house because... Yeah, see, chat members, once again, I just don't think that this is making me understand the plot better. I mean, I guess I have another facet of it, but I don't understand it any better. I guess they killed John. The title is accurate. That was actually just a cop. That was a canonical Garfield cop. That's what they look like. And it arrested him, and then it blew up the house with an alien laser. Well, that's good.
I am coming.
Okay, alright. I mean, alright. You're gonna get us started here on fucking David Carradine Spiral Fitness or whatever. And then go right into Gilbert Garfield.
I am coming.
I am come. What is this episode titled? Garfield? Oh, it's the same episode. Okay.
Digs through her disgusting Italian jar for the only liquid she has to cover her shame. Tomato sauce. And now keep in mind, most of what I...
So Gilbert Garfield is just over here telling jokes and talking about disgusting Italian people or something. it's what I'm getting from this. Yeah, it's a high concept ARG because it is a shit post. But I mean, there is a creepy factor to it as well. I guess it's supposed to be kind of unsettling. John being dead in the bed was, you know, a little spooky. This creature himself is kind of freaky in a way. And all of this happening in the aesthetic of this old cartoon, you know, it looks like something I would have maybe grown up watching, or, you know, maybe if I was like a 10 years older or 5 years older, I might have grown up watching something like this. I never really watched the actual Garfield cartoon, but yeah, seeing something like this that actually fits appropriately into the art style of what it's going for, but it's like this creepy fucking skin creature with a ball sack and tits, or like at least nipples. And like a Doom middle arm, like in Doom where your gun is in the middle of the screen, his arm is growing out of the middle of his chest. So, you know, and that's fitting. That's really fitting well with the art style. Of course, you also have Gilbert Garfield's face too, which looks like an AI face. It looks like you asked AI to make Gilbert Garfield, but no, this is just what he looks like. This is just this is all pure purpose right here.
Of the Italian culture comes from the great homosexual comedian Chico Marx of the Marx Brothers family, and he was Jewish, not a real Italian.
Yeah, that serves you right. That's take that, you woke moralists. It's okay to be funny again and make offensive jokes, God damn it.
Dead Alien reminds me of the golden age of Hollywood, where you could stick anything up your ass
God damn
and
it.
no one would ask the wiser question, as long as the studio heads had your back.
I mean, this is just also quite funny. I mean, it's oh, you're still not seeing it? That's a shame. That's a shame. You missed how much of it did you miss? Dang. You got a guy here that looks like he's doing yoga, and then we jump here, and you got this creepy alien monster. He's abducted Garfield and he's got a ball sack, he's got nipples, and they're here in this wonderful rendition of what a cartoon from this area looks like. Garfield with his face, and
Not a real Italian.
and Garfield, of course, murders him. I don't know, did you see the first one even? Because the first one here, man, I really beans that up. Oh, such a great ARG, too. It really deserves better. You can see the wonderful face that Gilbert Garfield is making. Just absolutely pinnacle, peak face. He's got the smile, and he looks like AI. You can see Odie shows up here. Odie gets fucking murdered. This creature comes along to take Garfield to jail. He's got the handcuffs. John is fucking dead. John's been murdered. And so there is an element of this that is like an actual spooky thing a little bit. They're trying to do some of the like Squidward hyper-realistic bloodshot eyes kind of thing a little bit. But then you just have this long stretch of this thing that's like,
Which she has to
she's
cover
so disgusting.
shade. Tomato sauce. And now keep in mind,
I can't
most
read.
of what I
Was
know-
that like Italian?
Tomato sauce.
Presto, yeah, it looks like Italian. So I guess maybe the alien thinks that he's speaking Italian, because it looked like he was speaking Spanish before. The alien thing thinks that he's speaking Italian, I guess, because he's talking about Italians.
And now keep in mind,
He's trying his best to comprehend what the fuck Gilbert Garfield is
what
saying.
I know of the Italian culture comes from the great homosexual comedian Chico Marx of the Marx Brothers family.
Huh.
And he was Jewish, you know, not a real Italian. This dead alien reminds me of the golden age.
What's up with this dead alien? I mean, what's the deal? So yeah, there's a certain element of this that is, like I was saying before, it's interesting to have something that's like spooky in this way, or you know, at least has this kind of creepy. It's like it looks like a Candlejack monster, again, Orphan of Cause looking creature. But it's in this art style that's very like 80s cartoon. It fits well with what it's trying to do. You got Garfield's weird face too. Yeah, and I was saying like the original that Harmony and Horror thing was trying so hard to look like analog horror, and this you know, this actually looks a little bit more like, you know, what it's trying to look like, you know. And then of course you also have the yoga man here, which, I mean, he looks like he's having a really good time. Video 3, we'll do like another one here. And then we'll move on. Video 3. So I don't know why aliens are even involved. That's the other thing, because the alien tried to arrest Garfield, and then it just blew up his house because it's an alien. I mean, it also just abducted him, so I don't know why. I thought the alien thing was a cop, but I guess it is just an alien thing, I guess. There is a lore here. Crime to occur, Earth time, July 11th, 1989. Gilbert and Odie will kill their owner, John A., arrest them at 1815 Est. And you can see it's written in wingdings here, so you know it's that official intergalactic police department script.
Being arrested for a future crime reminds me of the precogs from the Steven Spielberg 2002 adaptation of Minority Report, which is not about a Japanese newspaper. Of course, I know all of this because of my
Oh, okay.
third eye that can see into the future. And my fourth eye in my asshole. That can see the past.
Very nice, very nice.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, see, it's a good thing that I was informed that I wasn't showing the screen, because really, you don't want to miss content like this. I mean, this is quality stuff.
Ground veal.
Okay.
Ground veal.
Ah! There you go.
Ground veal.
Is that the only thing you want? Oh, that's one fat cat.
Ground veal.
I see. It's like this. Now this is just, you could just tell me that this was just on Adult Swim and I would believe you. I mean,
I'm an anomaly.
what is that? I'm a common anomaly. If this anomaly continues, the planet Earth will become a void hole. Oh, I'm all about that.
Well, I feel like a dick. Feel it.
Okay, and wait. Oh, there goes the ground veal. Okay. Yeah, see, I mean, after what we've seen of YTV and Teletoon in the early, like the late 90s, the early 2000s, this just seems right up that alley, really. I mean, I don't know how ARG this even actually is. We're gonna move on from that. We had some Gilbert Garfield action. I fucked up a little, but you saw most of it, and you know, it's a pretty cool ARG. I would say. Oh my god. Okay. Shut up the sound. It's a pretty cool ARG. There's a lot more to it. I'm not gonna watch all of it. I mean, again, the people that are like, you gotta watch the whole thing. It's like, well, that's never gonna happen. There's quite a lot here. There's also Oyster Boy, and there's Mecha Neko Soccer School, which appears to be several different parts, and it's a Japanimation. It's a Japanimation, so you know it's gonna be good. Maybe we'll look at that another time. Because this is an interesting ARG. Of the ones that I've seen, you know, it's got a bit of a comedy focus. It is also trying to be a little spooky, a little scary, but there's like a shitpost quality. I mean, the Garfield element of it kind of makes me think that it's kind of a ripoff of Lasagna Cat a little bit. It just seems like a bit of a Lasagna Cat situation. But, you know, it's still pretty interesting. It's got a lot of unique stuff to it. And it feels like something that would have been, you know, potentially just on in that era. I mean, you know, so it works pretty well. It's got the artistry down of it. We'll move along here. I've got some other ones saved. I wanted to do... Right. I wanted to do some fanfic. Oh, this will be good. Okay. So, here's what I'm going to do. Rather than bringing this up and everybody can see what, you know, I'm reading and everybody can read ahead, you know, and like if I have a whole... It's a fanfic, so I'll be reading one paragraph, but you can just jump ahead to a later paragraph, right? And you can see what's going on. And we don't need that. So, I'm just going to bring up this image here. And, no, not on Pluto TV. Come on now. Bring up this image here, and wow, okay, that's cool. Can I just get an actual image of this thing, please? Please open image in new tab. There you go. Okay, so everybody, save this, and just give me a second here. And take that, and I'll drag that over here, and so somebody suggested a fanfic for the Backyardigans series, and if you're like me and you're not familiar with what that is, then maybe this will help you as I read. I will read the fanfic for you, and you can see, you can look at this, and don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So I'll read some of this, and I don't know which character is which here. Perhaps it'll make it clear through the prose. It looks like it's formatted properly, and it's actually, it doesn't appear like there's a lot of typos and stuff, so that's good. It reads as follows. The soft glow of the white fluorescent light bulbs that hung across the ceiling provided a cool color form around the blank, empty, and gray concrete walls of the interrogation room. Never mind, interrogation is spelled incorrectly. Also, the name of this is Playtime is Over. That's the name of it. And it's only 3 chapters, so that's good, but they're pretty long. Little to no sound was present, with the sole exception of buzzing noise coming from the light bulbs. The area itself was just as empty as ever, only a few chairs, and a table where in the middle of the room, despite being devoid of any kind of proper furniture, okay, this is fucking full of typos, alright, of any sort, there, T-H-E-I-R, was one small blue penguin by the name of Pablo, who sat in one of the chairs with a blank expression on his face. His entire body was almost covered in bandages. His entire body was almost covered in bandages. At this point, he has no bandages anywhere on his body, but there was a very close moment there where it looked like his entire body was going to be covered in bandages. Bruises and an eye patch was covering one of his eyes. As he continued to sit quietly in his chair, the sound of the interrogation room's door opening practically woke him up from his trance that he was in. "Good morning, Pablo," a well-dressed police officer said as he entered the room with a female detective. Pablo only nodded slightly before looking back down at the table. Did you sleep well last night?" the female detective, a bright orange fox with blue eyes and a painted pink claws, asked. "No," Pablo muttered under his breath. "I see, Pablo." The female detective grabbed a small pen and notebook out of her pocket and began jotting down notes. "Well, do you remember who I am?" the detective asked. Pablo looked back up at the detective and then back at the cop, who had bright smiles on their faces, and tried to remember. However, he had only met her once, so he had a rather hard time remembering her name. Sorry, I don't think so," Pablo said as he lowered his head in shame. "It's okay, Pablo. I understand that it takes a while to remember names. Plus, with all those wounds on you, I don't think remembering names is too far up on your list," the detective answered. "My name is Detective Maria, Pablo, and over there is my partner, Officer David. Now, before we start with the interview, would you like to go somewhere more comfortable, Pablo? We only needed you in here so that we could run a few more tests, just the one, and scans in the lab." Pablo looked up at the detective smiling down at him and shuffled a bit in his seat. He certainly wasn't very comfortable being in a large, dark, cold room, and the stiffness of the metal chair he was sitting on certainly didn't help. He gave... Okay, that's all... This is all one sentence, by the way. Certainly didn't help. He gave a small nod in approval before being escorted by the flipper to a much larger room down the hall of the police station. As they entered the room, Pablo saw that it was certainly better than what he had expected it to be. The room itself was painted a bright blue and pink pattern across the walls. Large pictures of various rides and cartoon characters were lined up in small rows, about 3 for each wall. There, T-H-E-I-R, where, W-H-E-R-E, oh man, this is exciting, multiple toys scattered throughout the room, with a large toy chest practically overflowing of various toys and games for children of all ages. You know, it's a shame that I looked at this and my first thought was, wow, this is a lot better than on first inspection, this looks a lot better than the average fanfic that we read on here. It does. On first inspection, it does sadly look quite a lot better. The bar is that low. Various toys and games. However, one thing was sure to Pablo. He was much too old for most of those things. In the middle of the room, there was a sofa surrounded by 3 rocking chairs and a large wooden table in the middle of it all. Needless to say, it was a very well-made room. A lot nicer than that blank, gray, and lifeless interrogation room that he had been earlier, that he had been earlier. Earlier in his day, he was actually the room, but no longer is he bound by the shackles of architecture. He's no longer that room. I don't want to be that kind of room anymore. Detective Maria grabbed a hold of Pablo's flipper and led him down to one of the rocking chairs and sat him gently as to not cause the already injured avian any more kind of pain than he already was. Once they were both settled down, the detective immediately pulled out a recorder from her pants pocket and turned it on. May 24th, 2013. Time, 2:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Standard Time, as if somebody just finished standarding the time. They just standard it real good. It's just he just finished standarding it. He standard it up real well. Subject interview. Pablo. The detective spoke into the microphone part of the recorder. Pablo looked at the recorder with a hint of confusion on his face. Detective Maria immediately noticed this and said to the young blue penguin. That's it. That's the end of that sentence. Oh, you don't have to worry, Pablo. This is just for our interview, that's all. Oh, okay, but... Pablo began, but stopped halfway through. What is it, sweetie? Detective Maria asked, concerned. Well, is that going to help find the guy who... Pablo's eyes began to tear up as he started to sniffle. Killed my friends? Yes, Pablo, Detective Maria said with a warm smile. It will help us get the evidence for what we need to catch the person who hurt you and your friends. All I asked of you, Pablo, is to be honest with me and leave nothing out, okay? Pablo sniffled once again, but was soon handed a box of tissues to wipe his eyes and blow his beak. After doing that, he smiled and nodded a yes before carefully lying back on the rocking chair. Good, Pablo. Thank you for letting me do this, by the way. You're very brave for doing this, Detective Martha said. You're welcome, Pablo said, smiling back. Y-O-U-R, of course. Okay, so Pablo, I want you to start from the beginning of when this all happened, the detective said as she placed the recorder on the table and pulled out the same notepad and pen from her pants pocket. Pablo took in a deep breath and then exhaled, and then he began to recollect his thoughts. Well, it started about a week back, and me and my friends had just finished with the final day of school. It says flashback, so just imagine there's like a flashback sound effect. The sound of the school bell ringing for the final time rung throughout the halls of the elementary school like water on a beach. Oh, don't try for metaphors, dude. You can't even spell the word interrogate properly. Normally this sound would just be yet another time to go home kind of deal. However, this time it sounded like multiple angels singing angelic hymns at the gates of heaven. Almost immediately after the bell, every single child from kindergarten, sorry, not even kindergarten, but kindergarten. It's right. To 8th grade, all let out a joyful yay! Countless paces of papers, pencils, erasers, and other school-related items flew into the air like confetti. However, in one classroom, space, apostrophe S room, to be precise. So I think that's supposed to be saying Pablo, or maybe another name, but it doesn't have the name, so it's just... However, in one classroom, room to be precise, that character, that guy, the excitement for the now upcoming summer vacation could be heard over all of the other students in the school. Now, children, you have a wonderful summer vacation. I'm hopefully going to see you all again in a few months, said as she opened up the door for the Why is the name of this teacher not in the story? The way this is written, I'll hopefully see you all again in a few months. And then it said as she opened up the door for the students. And it's like they did somebody control F the fucking name of the teacher and just get rid of that? I guess. Almost within an instant, the Anitra crowd of children, practically ran out of the room like a stampede of water. Another water metaphor, that's good. Or analogy, I guess, said almost the entire crowd. Once the dust cloud, that is the children, finally cleared. Mrs. Park noticed that... Okay, it's Mrs. Park is the name. Mrs. Park noticed that only 2 of her students were still in the classroom, semicolon, Pablo and Tyrone. They were both getting everything that the 2 of them needed and leaving everything else behind in a neat pile. Well, Pablo, you ready to go? Tyrone said as he zipped up his backpack. Oh, you bet I am, Pablo responded back. You still coming to our camping trip tomorrow, right? Tyrone asked. Of course I am, Tyrone. I wouldn't miss it for the whole world, Pablo said with a very high dose of whimsy. Awesome! All right, now that we're all packed up, let's get out of here, Tyrone said, running toward the door. I beat you to it, Pablo said, running after him. The 2 of them continued to run toward the door, however, not before they thanked for teaching them. Again, it removed the name of the teacher, it seems, except in one spot where it says Mrs. Park. But every other instance where I think it's trying to refer to the teacher's name, it just deleted it. So it says, before they thanked for teaching them. It's great, good. Make sure to thank for teaching them. Oh, you're quite welcome, you 2, while you are. You both have a great summer vacation, said as she ruffled the fur/feathers on both of their heads. With all that said and done, the 2 of them both walked out of the room and into the still crowded hallways. They both desperately tried to get themselves through the crowd of screaming and laughing kids. However, any attempts to try and get themselves even remotely close to the double doors failed miserably, with a Y. Ugh, how are we going to get through this crowd? Pablo said, concerned. Well, I guess we could try and... Hey guys, wait up! Tyrone was immediately interrupted, with one R, by a voice calling out to them. Neither Pablo nor Tyrone could see who called out to them, but they definitely recognized the voice. And so they're hanging out with their friends Uniqua and Austin. And of course, I don't know fucking anything about this series, and I don't know which one of these characters is which. Uniqua and Austin and Tyrone and Pablo are all here. But we're gonna jump ahead. They're all, like, camping, it looks like. They're roasting marshmallows. Tasha is also here. There's a Tasha involved. Okay, now we get into the good stuff. So, all of the characters pass out for some reason. Let me see here. Once everyone was ready, Tasha's stomach started growling. So, there's a small cooler. Okay, so it looks like they went camping. They brought some marshmallows and stuff to toast with them. And when they woke up the next morning to toast the marshmallows and stuff, they found that the bag of marshmallows had been left open. However, Pablo noticed that the bag containing the white confectionaries was completely opened up. And so they eat the marshmallows. End of flashback as they all pass out. Everybody's dropping like flies. Pablo himself being the final one to succumb to unconsciousness. End of flashback. That was the last thing that I remembered before I passed out, Pablo said as he fiddled with his propeller hat. Just keep in mind this horrible, like, interrogation room scene with him being counseled by a detective. He's wearing a propeller hat. You're doing very well, Pablo. Now a few questions. Do you believe that the marshmallows had been tampered with something? Maria asked. Most likely, although I don't know what it was. Yeah, this little child knows the meaning of the word tampered with, knows what that means, and then responds with, Indubitably, Squire! Most likely, yes! It was most likely a sedative of some sort, ground up into a fine powder and put into your bag of marshmallows, said Maria. Also, by the way, it's marshmallow, not mallow. Oh, Pablo responded. So, flashback. Pitch blackness. That was the only thing that Pablo could see. However, his hearing certainly hadn't been muffled, as he had heard the sounds of groaning and small whimpers with no H. So it's like those little wimpy whimpers coming from all around him. He couldn't tell where he was, but he did know that he was sitting down in a chair of some sort. He tried to remove the object that was blocking his vision, his vision. However, he quickly found out that both of his flippers had been tied down by leather straps. After finding this out, Pablo began to panic along with all of the others. He tried to speak up as well. However, a ball gag was tied directly around his mouth to prevent him from calling out. Panic slowly began to take over the young penguin as he began to thrash about in the chair. However, this lasted for about a minute before the sound of door opening and closing caused everyone in the room to fall silent. "Up already?" a deep gurgled voice called out. "Oh, I thought you all would have still been asleep by the time I got back, but I guess not. Oh well, just gives me more time to have some fun," the mysterious voice said. Pablo could hear Here, the man making his way toward him, judging by the sound of heavy boots hitting the floor. As the man got closer towards Pablo, the man let out a wet burp that, had not the bag been over his face, written in brackets, would have made the blue avian gag in response. Within an instant, the black bag that had covered the penguin's face was removed with a swift motion. Now the cabin itself wasn't really that bright. In fact, it was very dim. But even still, it took Pablo a bit for his eyes to adjust to the sudden light. However, once it had finally cleared, he was met with a horrifying face that nearly made him wet himself. There in front of him was the man. He looked to be about 6.5 feet tall. He was a very obese man, although not to the point of extreme obesity. He was wearing a pair of heavy black combat boots. He was dressed in a stained white collared shirt and black leather-looking pants. We don't know if they were actually leather, but they sure looked like it. His hands, or hooves, were covered with black gloves for meat preparation. However, the worst of it all was the man's face. Pablo couldn't tell what kind of species the man in front of him was. He certainly wasn't a moose or a kangaroo, due to the lack of fur on him. His facial features were also heavily deformed. Guys, facial funny. Or in this case, mutilated to some extent. His lips were chapped and cracking. There's 2 T's. It's the word chapped, but with chapped and cracking with dried blood caked around it. His gums were black and swollen with small pockets of pus and blood popping every time the man moved his jaw. His teeth, although few, with most seemingly of his teeth rotten to the nerve, were grotesquely, grotescly, like Tesco brand grotesquely, crooked and sharp. His eyes were dull and empty, with no form of color to speak of, and even the way his eyes even were positioned on his face was definitely not normal. The rest of his face looked almost like a rotting corpse. Even if Pablo could scream, he knew for a fact that would only spell out trouble if he did. After some time, the man walked away from Pablo with a rotted, toothy grin on his face. This gave Pablo some time to examine the area more easily. The place that they were in looked like an old dilapidated cabin, not too big, but at the same time not too small either. The entire place smelled of death, with a heavy stench of blood in the mix of it all. I kind of feel like that's part of the death smell, but alright. The living room and kitchen were connected together. The living room area had the usual furniture and such, although covered in mold, rotting away or even torn to shreds. The kitchen, however, was absolutely filthy. The sink was filled to the brim with dishes covered in rotten food, with stagnant water flowing out of the sink and landing onto the floor with small plops. The floor of the kitchen was covered in various stains of all sorts, so much to the point that it was hard to even tell what they even were. 2 small light bulbs that hung in the kitchen area illuminated a small part of the kitchen area, but not a whole lot. Just a small part of the kitchen area. It was still rather dark in the cabin. I see it's too dark in here. Let me go and turn on the rest of the lights. The deformed pig-like madman walked back into a door that apparently he had walked out of earlier. Within a few seconds, the entire room was illuminated with a bright light, which nearly blinded Pablo at such brightness. But like before, his eyes adjusted to the light, and what he saw made his eyes widen with fear. All of his friends were on were all on various devices. Tasha was near another door in the kitchen, most likely a bathroom, tied down on a table like a medieval torture device. The rack, for example. You know, you're the writer of the story. You don't. You could just tell me which one it was, actually. You don't need to... For example, here are some examples of medieval torture device. Which one was it? Just tell me. Just let me know. Because it's within your power to let me know that. You are the writer. Austin was in between both doors in the kitchen, his hands wire-tied together from the ceiling, and he was suspended at least a few feet into the air by his arms, plus he was blindfolded as well. Tyrone was sitting across from him in a chair that was similar to the one he was sitting in, although instead of straps there was barbed wire wrapped tightly around his wrist and arm. He seemed to be losing a lot of blood as his face was practically pale as snow, and Uniqua was tied down to the wall by the usage of various straps and wires wrapped around her from hands and feet. Pablo tried to yell out for help, but of course with the ball gag in his beak, nothing would come out. Everyone's faces, with the exception of Tyrone, that is, looked scared and at the same time confused. The pigman walked through the door once more, carrying a small toolbox in one hand and large hunting knife in the other. What are you going to do with those tools? Tasha asked, her eyes widening as the man opened up the toolbox with a few clicks. Fun stuff, the man said in a sick, perverted way. Tasha, in a fit of anger and rage, yelled out at the man. You better let us go right now! I swear if you touch me or my friends, I'll beat the living tar out of you! You hear me? My dad is a cop, and he'll have your... B-U-T, arrested and thrown in jail in an instant! While she continuing to yell out various calls and insults to him, the man's expression changed from sadistic glee to a hateful rage in almost an instant. The man shook and spasmed as his face contorted to one of pure hatred and wrath. The others, Pablo and Uniqua, noticed this as well and practically begged Tasha to shut her mouth, but she ignored them and continued on yelling, this time her tone getting more and more vulgar. I swear to God, if you don't let us go, you fucking perverted freak! I'll personally bash my face into your... Tasha's ranting was soon interrupted with the man turning to the yellow hippo, eyes red and angry. Shut the fuck up, the annoying piece of shit! The man screamed. Almost in an instant, the man lunged at Tasha and grabbed her lower jaw with both of his greasy gloved hands and began yanking it. Tasha screamed as the man yanked harder and harder on the younger child's jaw. Pain coursed through her body as the man yanked hard on her jaw, causing it to be completely unhinged from her skull, only connected by flesh. Tasha continued to scream in agony and pain as the others looked on in sheer terror. Finally, the man, with one heavy yank, tore the skin muscle clean off of the hinges of her jaw and tore the jaw from her head. Tasha was now in hysterics as she attempted to scream, blood pouring out of her now missing jaw like a fountain. The screaming soon was reduced to gurgling as the blood went into her throat. Within minutes of violent shaking, coughing, and gurgling... End of sentence. That's the end of the sentence. Her whole body went still, her eyes rolling in the back of her head. She had drowned in her own blood. The man just smirked and clasped and then dislocated jaw bone tightly in his now bloodied hand. Glad that bitch was taken care of. I always hated her. The man scowled. Everyone at this point had gone silent. Not a single word was said. Pablo was in complete and utter shock at what had just happened in front of him. Tears wheeled up in his eyes, and he stared intently at the jaw in the fat fuck's hand. This isn't happening, Pablo thought to himself. Now, where were we? What I like here is that it actually spells the word where correctly. It's the correct where, and then the correct were. So the author evidently knew for a split second that not to say the word where in place of the word were, but only in the context of the word where and were being directly next to each other. The fat pig said, his perverted smirk returning to his now blood-soaked face. The pig man turned his attention towards Uniqua, who in turn began to cower and cry at the wretched sight of his blood-soaked face. The man gave a rotted, toothy smile at the pink ladybug before him, before turning towards his toolbox and pulling out a large spray bottle filled with a green liquid. "You know, Uniqua, never really did get what you actually are. I always thought you were an alien of some sort." We were back to where, by the way. We're back to where an alien. Alien, sorry. "I always thought you were an alien of some sort, but now you look more like a bug." The man's smile dropped to a frown as he held up the spray bottle towards Uniqua's face. "And I hate bugs." With that said, the pig began spraying the liquid onto Uniqua's face. She screamed a high-pitched scream as parts of her face began to melt like cheese in a microwave. The man continued to spray her until, 2 L's, her face was nothing more than chunks of melted flesh and exposed skull. Despite all of that trauma she was going through, she was still breathing. The pig noticed this and tossed the bloody jaw up into the air and caught it with one catch. Then he took the I'm glad it didn't take him multiple catches. Then he took the jaw and jammed it deep into her left eye socket, which penetrated her brain, causing instant death. The pig looked at his handiwork and laughed a sick, maniacal laugh, Pablo at this point was trying desperately to get the gag off of his beak so that he try and cry out for help. Oh, that'll help. That works so well for the first girl. It was working, however, not as fast as he wanted it to go out. The pig man, who now already stopped laughing at this point, then walked over to the now unmoving moose Tyrone. The pig man looked closely at Tyrone, and then scoffed at Bit. "Damn it! I knew I had those wires tied too tightly! Fuck!" the pig swore. "Well, he's fucking dead!" the pig said, kicking the chair with Tyrone toward the side. "Although I still have some use for him." Okay, the pig then walked back over toward the toolbox. I'm trying to figure out what the use is. That he had brought out the toolbox and pulled out a small bone saw. "Bone saw is ready." He then went over to where Tyrone's body was at and began sawing off Tyrone's horns one by one. The sound of metal against bone made Pablo want to throw up. To try and get his attention away from the carnage happening in front of him, he looked over at Austin. He didn't look any better than he did. The only difference was the amount of pain that the poor kangaroo must have been going through, having to be hung up in a position like that. He was honestly surprised that Austin hadn't started screaming in pain yet. Then again, his arms at this point must have been numb as all hell. The only good thing that Austin had, compared to him, was the fact that he couldn't see anything. He didn't see all the terrible carnage and violence that had transpired only a short while back. It's continuing to transpire. What the fuck you mean, only a short while back? Oh, thank God that's behind us. While thinking these things, Pablo was immediately snapped back into reality by a wet, squishy sound, followed by a small thump. He knew for an absolute fact that he didn't want to see what it was that made that thump. However, his body wasn't listening to his mind. His head slowly turned itself toward the source of the thump, only to be met with the hornless, skinned, and severed head of his once best friend, Tyrone. Pablo fought the urge to vomit, because he knew that if he puked now, he'd most likely drown in his own vomit. So he just closed his eyes and quietly wept for his now dead friend, but at least his death wasn't full of pain and misery like the other two had been. Let's see. So he puts the moose's head on the thing. There's an F slur that shows up at some point here. This appears to be as somebody who doesn't like the Backyardigans. As far as I can tell, the canon of the story is somebody really doesn't like the Backyardigans, and they decided to self-insert into the world so that they could, like, murder them, because they keep going like, "I was always confused about what you were," and stuff like that. And like down here it says something about like, "I always knew you were a little sissy boy," a fucking F slur. The pig spat once more. And let's see. Oh no. Oh god, it gets worse. Okay, well, it gets worse. I guess we're not done. I've been in this cabin for almost 5 years now. So he decides to not kill his little boyfriend, whichever one that is, the kangaroo one, Austin. He decides not to kill Austin. He'll let the little boyfriend live, the pig man said. Thank you, please just... Pablo was cut off with another punch in the face. I didn't finish, you fucking F-slur! The pig sneered. I'll let him live, but you have to do something for me. Pablo looked up at the pig, who now had a large toothy grin plastered on his face. What? Pablo said, shaking in fear. And, I'm just gonna go ahead and, just go ahead and do this real quick, because, just pop that over there. Let me see here. I've been in this cabin for almost 5 years now, and like everyone else in the world, I need a release, you see. I've been hungry for some fun for quite some time, and... The pig began rubbing his fingers into Pablo's feathers on his belly. You're gonna help me with that. So not only is it someone who apparently has a problem with the backyardigans, it's also someone who specifically wants to have sex with the, like, angry rage fuck sex with the backyardigans. Pablo didn't need to be told twice on what that sick bastard wanted to do to him, but before he could say anything, the pig wrapped the ball gag back into Pablo's beak. Then he got up and walked over toward Austin, and with that knife that he had used previously, he cut the blindfold off of Austin's eyes. Austin blinked rapidly, not used to the bright light, before his eyes adjusted and went wide at the carnage and gore that was around him. The pig smirked and walked back up to Pablo. Now here's how it's gonna go out. You're just gonna be quiet and do exactly as I say, no questions asked. If you be a good boy, I'll never hurt your little friend over there, I swear it. Got it? Pablo nodded as tears and blood poured out of his bad eye while regular tears flowed down the other. The pig man then shot a glare at Austin and said firmly, You are going to watch this all the way through, and if you even so much as close your eyes for a minute, I swear I'll slit his throat and have you skull fuck him. Got it? Austin nodded as well. Good, now let's begin. Flashback ends. Pew, 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 pew. He started to kiss me first and rub his hands all over me. Pablo stopped himself. He felt like he was going to vomit. Pablo, sweetie, do you need me to get the trash can? Maria asked, concerned. Please, Pablo said, barely able to contain himself. And, we have a character that shows up named Elizabeth. Not Elizabeth, but Elizabeth. Or Elizabeth. It might be with a Z or an S. It's hard to tell. But she shows up, and a rape kit shows up in this. This is Pablo's mom, I guess. This is Pablo's mom. When you do find that son of a bitch that raped, tortured, and cut up my son and his friends, you bring him to me and I'll make sure to castrate him myself with the dullest, flattest knife in my drawer. So yeah, this is like Special Victims Backyardigans. And it continues. This is just chapter 1, by the way. There's plenty more. And I think we're good on that. I think that's all I need to read. You get the gist. You understand. That's the Backyardigan story. Playtime is over, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm sure chapter 2 and 3 are also horrific. The pig man comes back. The pig man comes back, and he's been secretly recording all of the Backyardigans for years, all of their secrets. Okay, and Austin is dead. The kangaroo is dead. Right. The empty husk of the kangaroo he once was. Right. The pigman makes him sing, and now he's singing the theme song of the show with your friends, the backyardigans, Pablo said with a shaky tone of voice. And I think that he has to, like, eat his friend. I think it's like cannibalism now. I think that's what it is. Yeah, I think he's making him eat his dead friend or something. I'm not sure, but it gets pretty bad. It gets pretty bad. That's the Backyardigans story. Thank you for sticking around for that. We'll move along now. That was the fan fiction segment, and let's see what else is being suggested here. Let me see. $5 from Disgusting Seal. You should see if you can get in contact with Leather Ice Cream for a collab stream in the future. He's a creepypasta veteran since it began. I mean, I don't know if I don't know. I mean, I guess this counts as creepypasta, fanfic creepypasta kind of thing. I guess that kind of counts as what we were just reading. I don't know necessarily that I'm that interested in creepypasta stuff. Outside of, you know, making fun of it generally, I guess. I don't know. I read it some of the time back when it was like a new genre back in like 2011. I still have a folder of creepy stories from back then, like Russian Sleep Experiment or whatever, some of the old stuff. But after a while, I don't know. It's just it's very much like ARGs. It's just all this kind of like. And then there was a personalized Mario cartridge. It's like, okay, great. I'm so scared. I'm just so scared. So I don't know. There's probably some good stuff, I'm sure, but you know. $2 from Sonic Lol Productions. Check back with Paul, the ARG cook. Well, I don't think that he was actually an ARG cook. I don't believe that he was actually. I don't believe that he was actually an ARG at all. I think he was just terrible. I think he was just awful. I'm trying to remember where Paul was. That was shit. Vote Saxon 07 is there. Is it? It's not food reviews. It's not Mystery Chef 01 either. Hang on, I might need to fucking look at my own video to find out who uploaded that, cuz I doubt he even has anything new, cuz that guy did not upload videos all that often, so I doubt he has anything all that new. What the fuck is it? Paul 4608. Okay. Yeah, he doesn't have anything new since the champagne cake. But the Arc Wielder over here did find him. This VHS cooking video is unsettling. Paul 4608. And yeah, I mean, if you haven't seen this fella before, I don't think he really is an ARG person, but he cooks and he has videos. Depraved! Depraved! Yeah, he cooks, he has videos. I mean, we could try watching one of his, like, spooky videos here. I mean, you can see how these do look like an this looks like an ARG. He hasn't uploaded anything. I mean, like, it is interesting. He uploaded stuff 9 years ago. And then disappeared for, like, a very long time and came back 2 years ago. With the pizza, the spicy chicken, the champagne cake, all of this stuff. It's like he came back with like food recipe stuff after so many years. And the video quality didn't get any better. None of it got any better. If anything, it got worse. The Scavenger Part 1. So he's got this whole series about the Scavenger, and I wonder what this is, because we've never watched this. We'll watch some of it, though. He's got a 17.5-minute video here, too. Part 5 is 7 minutes. The Scavenger's latest find. I'm assuming this is just him scavenging for shit. We watched Return of the Scavenger at one point. I'm assuming this isn't like an actual formal series, but the whole channel looks like an ARG. So maybe it is. Maybe there's a plot here.
It's amazing what some people chuck out. I found this lot. Dumped near his dam at side of the road. And we're going to build a chest of drawers with it. Got some timbers down here.
Yeah, I mean, he's just building stuff. I mean, it's not anything too
Perfectly
crazy.
decent bloke just dumped it
This
private.
video is nothing too crazy. I wonder if the 17-minute video has anything going on.
Called me into an office to have a meeting about my contract that
It starts out with fucking some footage from a TV show. Here he is, though. Here he is.
Okay. Blah, blah, blah. So that's pretty much it right there. And
Yeah. What I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to build a cabinet with some timber I found that were dumped in a field by contractors. And this is progress so far. As you can see, it's more as damn it.
You know, it's definitely, you know, it's taking about it's taking up about as much of, like, the same dimensions that it would take up once it's done, so it's basically done.
Cabinet shaped, so what I've got to do is scrub this back piece in. And I'll show you some of...
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how actually spooky any of this is. Really, it's his fucking cooking videos that are the spooky part. I mean, I don't know. We'll watch one of them here. One of the ones we haven't seen. Let's do pigs in blankets with a difference. I wonder what gives these a difference.
Hello, today I'm going to show you how to do pigs in blankets. But
Well, the video quality actually does appear to be a little bit better in this one. Wait, cause hang on, cause Deluxe Pizza over here. Oh yeah, no, I guess he did eventually get a better camera. I guess. Because we had seen footage from this guy. What was the fucking video? Oh, it was this... Yeah, it was this cake.
But welcome to another video.
It was
Josh,
this fucking
chef.
video. Yeah, he makes a kid's birthday party cake, and it's this horrible...
What you could do is use icing.
He was trying to turn it into like a castle or something, and it just looks like a mountain of meat. And this is from back in the day. Yeah, okay, so his video quality did improve. He got a better camera eventually. I forgot about that. His older videos are the ones that are like ARG as hell, because it's just edited in a way that seems like it's meant... Like, it seems like it's meant to be this way.
Bottom there, so to prevent that, we put an heavy object on. In this case, a wrench and an impact screwdriver. Balance that on there. Then you put it in oven for about 1.5 hours on gas mark 4.
1.5 hours for cooking a cake. Yeah, this video is quite something. I wouldn't put it past him for Paul to be like a joke channel to some extent, a little bit of an ARG type thing. His videos go back quite a ways though. 11 years. Oh god, he has so many more food. He has so many more recipes. You know what? I'm saving this guy's channel because I'm not today. This is a spooky stream. This stuff is spooky enough, but like, look at some of these recipes though. At a future date, we're absolutely watching more of these. Blueberries and jam lattice tart, tomato soup in honor of Egypt. How to make bread over here, and of course sausage dumplings. These look horrific. And then just a whole bunch of other stuff. The Adventures of Leighton Mouse. Yeah, this is definitely a channel I gotta look at more of. But I don't know if it's necessarily spooky enough for today's stream. We'll move along, but thank you for reminding me he exists. $2 from Get That Griff. If you want good horror, Gemini Home Entertainment. I think I've seen it before. I am aware of it, and I know it is better than a lot of these. $5 from Get That Griff. The two harmony and horror videos I suggested are You Happy and The Miracle Child. I will look at some of these now. Maybe I'll actually show this on screen this time. That'll be great. If you weren't here the last time we did ARG shit videos, VHS stuff, analog horror, we found this thing, Harmony and Horror, which is a very popular series, and I keep seeing people in the comments going like, it's not actually bad, it gets better later, and it's like, all I know is that the first few ones that we saw were some of the most embarrassing, like it was like a parody of an ARG, but everybody was taking it seriously, unanimously. People were, the fucking people just like, I think what this represents is the bad childhood of the... And it was driving me insane. But I was told to look at Are You Happy? And another one here, which I would assume is in Season 2, because I don't see it in the Season 1 playlist here. Apparently it does get better, so maybe we'll see some newer stuff from this channel that's better. Are You Happy is apparently the good one, or one of the good ones. Let's watch. Oh, good God. Yeah, bro, it gets better after 1,000 episodes. I'm told that this is one of the better ones, and I start it, and immediately there's like a jump scare, basically. Oh, aren't you scared? Guys. Guys. Is this just Skibbity Toilet? Is this just Skibbity Toilet? That looks like the exact Skibbity Toilet face, but this is from like 3 years ago. This is just Skibbity fucking Toilet. Alright, well, like, the animation stuff is better. I do like that, you know, this is like an animation type thing now, instead of just being like whatever the fuck garbage it was before. It's got something more to it now. It's not that much better, though. Again, we're supposed to believe that this is like an actual, like, kids program or whatever this is supposed to be in universe. It's that thing you've seen a million times of, like, the spooky kids show, lost VHS tape or whatever. That's the other thing with this, too. Not only is everything that it's, like, doing to be scary, is like, it's just derivative in every way. It's got jump scares, it's got all this stuff, and you've seen this exact kind of thing a million times. But the thing is, typically when you see something like this, like the Gilbert Garfield thing that we watched earlier, at least that looked appropriately like a cartoon of the time. The work was put in. I can't believe for a second that this is not just made to be an ARG. Like, you couldn't convince me with a still frame of this that it's anything other than exactly what it is. You could maybe convince me that Gilbert Garfield is like a strange thing from the 80s, you know? But not this. No chance with this. It's also a very obvious fake effect. He finally decided to make the fucking aspect ratio 4:3 instead of a 16:9 VHS tape, which we were looking at in the first few videos. So at least that's a little better. There are signs of improvement. But, man, just out the gate, it's already not that much better. It looks like when you throw, like, the oil painting effect on a picture in GIMP. I don't know if anybody was around for the 1 or 2 days that was a huge thing on 4chan, like a decade ago, where everybody was fucking oil painting, making oil painting versions of, like, game screenshots or something. That's what this looks like. It's like a slightly fucked up oily effect or something. It's like kind of a VHS effect. It's not a good effect, whatever it is. It's trying to do a little chromatic aberration thing. It's trying to look kind of scuffed and, like, blurry, but it just looks very obviously fake.
Marcus, come on, wake up!
And here's the fucking FNAF demon dog thing that you saw in one of the first episodes, and again, we're supposed to believe that this is a real cartoon program thing for kids. Like, in universe, this is supposed to be like a believable thing that existed that I'm assuming was not intended to be horrifying to children. Or whatever. Like, that's what these always are, right? It's always like, oh, it's a lost thing from whatever. And so, like, I can't ever see... I could not see something that's designed this way not being obviously meant for horror, for, like, little baby horror. And I guess that's who watches this shit, is little babies who really want to be spooked, I guess.
Marcus? Huh? Andrew!
Andrew!
You interrupted my dream! I was dreaming about a man dressed in red with ice cream cones on his head. That's ridiculous, Marcus. You should be thinking about the perfect toy to ask the toy maker to make. Oh, is the toy maker in town? Yes, come on, let's go.
Ha 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 ha. Oh, God. I hold this shit in contempt when it forces me, when I feel like I'm being forced to fucking go back and check this shit frame by frame, like... Oh, God. It's never worth it. It's almost never worth it. Sophia, the singing... marionette is a prototype model for an upcoming new toy. The toy is operated via strings. Sophia is capable of listening to children talking and can see. It will recognize its child owner. Unless the child is crying, Sophia will offer many songs to sing to children. Parents are asked to not interrupt the toy while singing. She's got strings and no face available. I'm sure the face is a nice, cool, spooky, smiley doll face or something. And it'll turn to the little kids and go, "Would you like to play with me?" And then you'll hear like a spooky noise. Oh! Boom! And then that's the end of the video. Yeah, this looks not believable as anything that would have existed from the era that it's trying to be. It is this weird thing where, like, I guess I'm just a boomer looking at this, but, like, it's this weird feeling of, like, you're trying to make something which is ostensibly intended to be, like, a lost video from, I guess, the 80s or the 90s or whatever, maybe the early 2000s, whatever. It's like a lost thing from back then. It's supposed to be old. That's the analog horror thing. Except it's made for a group of people who were not alive in that era and have no frame of reference for what these things are supposed to look like or feel like in any way. So, really, you could just show them this and they'll be like, "Yeah, bro, it's just like 90s cartoons. This is exactly like what I grew up with. This totally looks like it and feels like it. Absolutely." And it's because they didn't grow up with that, and it's full of shit.
I don't see him. Where could the toy maker be? Do you see the toy maker?
It's him! It's him!
There he is. Oh, Mr. Toy Maker!
Well, hello, children!
Oh, this is a good face, though. I do enjoy this face. This could be used for memes.
What can I do for you today?
Me and my brother were wondering if you could make us the perfect toy.
Well, of course I can.
Yay!
If it were possible.
What do you mean, Mr. Toy Maker?
I love this troll motherfucker. Of course I can! If that was a thing that could be done, you fucking idiots. Thanks, Toy Maker. You're a real good sport. You're a real pleasant person.
Well, you see, children, I can make toys that blink. I can make toys that walk. I can make them eat. And I can make them talk.
Somebody says I'm scared because they are British.
I can make posters that read there. Fun, fun, fun! But these toys just aren't fun for anyone.
Aww.
Why, Mr. Toy Maker?
Well, you see, children, the secret to any good selling toy is to make them lifelike. You see, my toys can blink, but they can't see. My toys can walk, but they can't dance. My toys can...
Is this just Liza P again? God damn it.
Could do to help?
Why, yes,
The toys are spooky. So now this cube head man is going to pull a pig man and tell these kids to have fun times with him.
There is.
I mean, this is like a comedy beat, though. Is there anything we could do to help?
Help?
Why, yes, there is.
What is it? What should we do? I'm obviously being sinister! I don't understand! God damn it! This is like a SpongeBob joke.
Well, what is it?
There are 3
Oh, okay, that is basically what happens. It's just not meant to be a joke.
main ingredients that I need, but I used up all my supplies, so you'll have to get them for me.
But we don't have any money.
Don't you want to be happy? The first ingredient is
Bro, it's all about consumerism. I get it now.
needle and thread.
Okay. Was that scary? Was that scary? Yeah, this is like a lot of streams that we do where we'll watch something that's trying to be funny and it's like, is that the part where I was supposed to laugh? Oh, that was the funny part? Oh. Like this is like the scary version of reading Control-Alt-Delete. Just constantly being unsure if that's the part where I'm supposed to feel an emotion. Because I'm not really.
Oh, look, Margaret!
Unless derision is an emotion.
I wonder what seemed this bad.
Yeah, the creepy part is they're children and the ominous boxhead man is scary, but also they're British. I mean, legitimately, that chat member said that, but I think that's actually part of it, is there... It's like the song that I started the stream with, the Nightwish song, which begins with, like, little girls going, like, ring around the rosy, and it's like little British girls or whatever, and it's like, I guess that makes them sound more... I don't know what it is that makes them sound more like, but I think that is actually part of it. I think the British element is a part of it. It's foreign! Yeah, that must be it. Oh, guys, it's scary. Oh, there's a scary... What was that? What is this even? What, I blanked on what the fucking plot of this is, because I don't give a shit. I don't know. They dug up a fucking head or something. Is this the end of 7? It's this obvious shit that's just intended to be scary. I've seen it a million times. I said that I'm not into creepypastas because I used to read shit from like 2011 that felt like it was like written, but it felt exactly like this, you know? It felt exactly like this. And I've seen so many things that feel exactly like this, where it's designed around the concept of being spooky. It's not designed, you know, like this is something realistically that would have ever happened in this show. Like, I would love to see a lost episode creepypasta sort of thing, or ARG, or anything like this, you know, this type of thing, where it actually feels like an episode of the show, but it feels like something that was maybe just a little bit too creepy, just a little bit off, and they wouldn't have aired it, you know? Like, that's what I'm looking for. This is so ridiculous. Like, yeah, I just believe this is a real show that people would have watched. This is Candle Cove, everyone, or whatever the fucking kids show this was. I totally grew up watching this show where they just paused on a severed head for a little while with no music and nothing. There's nobody saying anything. It's almost as if it's explicit. It's so weird that they put that in the show. It was like it was intended specifically to scare children. It's crazy. It's wild. It's wild that they put that in that show that's real and exists and is believable.
Look, Andrew, a needle. Let's go give it to the toy maker. Toy maker, we found the needle and thread.
Wonderful! Now you must find fabric and paint. Hurry along now.
Okay, it's gonna be something spooky again. Like, the thing about this too is It is that feeling. Like, I know I'm watching a thing that's supposed to be horror, and ultimately I am aware that it'll be spooky in some fashion. But there is this very formulaic thing where it's like, okay, we went and we did the spooky thing, and they go and talk to the guy, and he's like, okay, go do this, and I'm like, well, it's not like something spooky isn't going to happen. It's not like they're gonna go and find the fucking needle and thread or whatever he said to find, and they're just gonna, like, have a nice adventure and come back. It's gonna be something spooky. So I'm just like, you can't even jump scare me. This is so bad. This is actually terrible, yes. Oh, it's this place again, you see? Oh, I remember this puppet boy. I understand the story now. There's a story because there was a puppet in an earlier episode. Oh my god. Oh my god. And I bet it's all about child abuse or something, or drugs, or it was all a dream. Fuck.
Toy maker,
Right. That was a scary part. I'm almost certain that was intended to be scary. You know, I've played so many video games too, where like I've had like games that aren't supposed to be scary. Like I compare this to Lies of P at moments because of the toys and puppets and shit. But like that game or any Souls-like as an example, where you'll just be walking around and there'll be like you'll walk into a new room and some fucking dude will jump out at you from the side with like a scythe or something and attack you. And it gives you a little, and that's like a jump scare that's effective because it's not contextualized for it. You're just walking. You're not assuming that there's going to be necessarily like a spooky jump scare happening. I mean, until you realize that they're like every 2 seconds in Lies of P, and it actually does become quite predictable when that'll happen. But most of the time, that's a good moment for something like that. But and even a moment like this where, like, I don't know, I've played so many video games and seen so many movies that I'm like, that's just not... You really would have to be a child for this to be in any way upsetting or unsettling at all, because I've just seen... Like, I've seen boss fights that are scarier than this. Most boss fights are scarier than this. I don't know, just regular non-horror game enemies that you encounter sometimes are scarier than what just happened here. I don't know, like, how am I intended to be in any way affected by this at this point in time? This really is baby's first horror.
Toy maker, we got the paint and...
Wonderful! Now I just need a few more things.
Anything, Mr. Toy Maker?
The next thing I need is your dog.
What? What do you need him for?
The toy needs to be happy. And it can't be happy without a friend.
But
don't you want it to be happy?
I'm just so done with this. I'm not even watching the rest of this. This is AIDS. This is AIDS. We're gonna do the other one. Griff suggested The Miracle Child. I'll look at that. God, this sucks. I mean, I don't want to be just awful. I don't want to be just mean or whatever, but God, this sucks. So this is this appears to be the newest one, and it's nearly a half an hour long. So we went from earlier ones to this is now the newest one. This is from 11 months ago. Those were from like a few years ago. Maybe there's improvement here. Maybe we've, you know, I've been critical. Maybe the third. What's up, everybody? I've been critical. Maybe the third. Maybe the second season, the third episode of the second season, which is only 3 episodes so far anyway. But it hasn't had an upload in 11 months, so probably nothing more. This is apparent. I guess the finale. This is the end of it. Maybe it's better. Maybe there's some subtlety. Maybe it's not so predictable. Maybe it's not making my eyes roll. Maybe not the most horrifying thing about this isn't me worrying that I'm gonna die of cringe. So maybe it'll be good. Maybe it'll be good. Oh my god. No, it's not good. Chat members, when, little PSA, if you're gonna do your spooky horror thing, if you're gonna do your spooky ARG, like, thing, maybe don't include the fucking trigger warning, you know? I think you're... You wouldn't want anybody to get a little too uncomfy while they're watching the horror movie. You don't want anybody to feel uncomfy. I mean, God forbid anybody feels uncomfy. Warning, there might be spooks! Well, I like the Metroid Prime ambience, you know, that's good. I'll give you that. 1 point for the Metroid Prime sound. Oh, okay, never mind. I mean, it does look better. I'll say visually it already looks better. It looks more VHS-ish. I think that's something I can immediately say it looks more appropriate for what it's trying to do, I think.
Honey? Honey?
Oh, God. Oh, there's acting.
Oh, hi, darling. Charlotte was telling me about this pup in her crawl space, and she's taking care of it now, but she was wondering if you'd be interested in adopting it. Martin? Are you alright?
How hard is it to just say your fucking lines like you're a human being? I don't know. I mean, like... It's not like I'm an amazing actor or something. If I was in this role, I don't know that I would be great at it, but just this, like... Hi, honey! I am your wife, and I am home now! Like, ugh. Yeah, I'm really scared. Oh, hi, Mark!
I made that trip to the doctor today.
Oh, dear, I'm so sorry. I forgot that was today.
Oh, did I boomer the stream again? Is it just showing a bed? Oh, I'm watching a whole movie play out with these two guys, these two people talking right now. It's like Marriage Story. I'm sorry, I can't make the screen come. I can't show it. I'm sorry.
Well, how did it go? Did he say yes?
No. He said no.
Oh.
Oh.
I'm sorry, honey. I know how...
Oh, I'm sorry, honey. That's... Touch of despair on the voice. Really sad. Oh, I wasn't supposed to read that part? Oh, that's really sad.
How much this means to you. Maybe we can still adopt one. Yeah? I'll make an appointment first thing tomorrow morning and...
No, I can't go through with that. I can't go through with taking...
So it's called The Miracle Child. He can't have kids. They're gonna adopt a puppet boy.
Taking care of somebody else's kid. I can't. If it's not my blood, then I don't want it.
Oh, Martin.
Oh.
There's gotta be another way. Please consider the other options.
I've already given them some thought, Gloria. And my one chance of having a child of my own flesh and blood was thrown down the drain!
This is so... Like, I'm assuming this is gonna be like the toy maker or some shit. Like, there's probably all sorts of theories about it. People have pieced together, oh, the whole thing was a metaphor for blah blah blah. Childhood, he created toys because he couldn't have kids or something like that. I don't know, some shit. And it's just so fucking basic. God. It's like it was made by an AI. I mean, it's like you asked an AI to make this story and it just vomited out like the same shit you've seen 600 times. I'm just like, it would have been worse, I guess, if the story was all about childhood trauma or some shit. You know, because that was the theory that I saw one person have in one of the comments was like, oh, I think it's all about someone as a child was being beaten or whatever the fuck. And it's like, okay, well, at least this is not that, but I don't know if it's that much better. This just feels so, I don't know. I can't name anything specific that I can point to that has done this before, but it just feels very derivative, man. I don't know. This is the best. If this is this creator at their best, visually it looks better. You know, the bed isn't making me want to die at this point. I don't know why we're just looking at a bed. It's probably really deep. You know, this is the bed that they can't conceive their kids in. So, you know, think about that, scientists.
Don't ever raise your voice at me. I'm your wife. I am not your father.
I'm sorry. I really am. I don't know what came over me. I just need...
You raise your voice to your father either? Is that... That's such weird writing. Like, is that normally a person that you would raise your voice to? Is that just shorthand for... You could just talk down to me like I'm your father or something. I feel like that's kind of specifically a person that you would give reverence and respect to, typically, and not yell at them or whatever. So that's very awkward writing.
I think I need more time to think. I can't decide right now.
How could you have committed suicide?
I'll be in the basement working if you need me.
You're always in that basement with your damn puppets! Well, why don't you stay down there, you son of a bitch?
I'm sorry, and we'll talk things over in the morning, okay? Good night.
Oh, because he has daddy issues? Is that why? Is that also part of it? That must be part of it as well. I mean, he has daddy issues in more ways than one. You know, interdimensional... Not really. Intergenerational daddy issues, because now he's the daddy issues. But you know, yeah, you know, it's really deep. It's really deep.
Good night.
Sayonara, Shadow the Hedgehog. Eddie Miller, this year for Christmas I want the new Henry doll. I asked for a Stitch buddy last year, but it doesn't work. I think your elves broke it. I left some milk and cookies for you. I hope you like them. From Eddie. Yeah, that's enough of that. This year I finally will capture Santa on camera. I'm going to stay up all night. Hi, Santa. I can't wait to see the reindeer, say Rudolph. No sleeping! This is so sad, guys! I love that there's chapters too, like this is the tragic truth. You believe this is called the tragic truth. Mental. Home invasion we're on now, though. It's a metaphor for slavery, yeah. He's here! I heard him on the roof! Santa, that's him, and down here it is me. I can't believe it! Mommy and Daddy aren't home yet. Oh, that's okay. I'll capture it all on camera for them. Ha! Merry Christmas, everybody. Oh my god. Oh my god. Was that... I was confused as to what that was. I thought it was like a fucking... a bunch of coats or something. I had no idea what that's supposed to be. And then it's a spooky, everybody. It's a spooky. Yeah. I guess it looks it's a better spooky. I mean, we gotta give them some credit. It is better integrated than the ones from, like, the first few videos where it was just, like, a JPEG on the screen, like a fucking 2010 Newgrounds Flash game or some shit. This is a little better than that. I mean, again, the video effects look a little nicer, I guess. It still looks fake. It doesn't look good. I mean, it doesn't look like it should, but it looks a little closer to how it should. It's like you went from like a bad filter on an emulator to like a slightly better CRT filter. It still doesn't look like a real CRT television, but it's like, you know, yeah, it gets the job done. That's where this is at, and this is apparently the best that it gets. So. Oh dear. This is what happens when you don't feed the gherkin to the meat. see, I understand. It's all about how they couldn't have kids, and so. All right, I just finished a joint. I'm now immediately lighting up the next one because fuck this. They couldn't have kids, right? So this represents the baby they could never have. You know, it's a big horrid meat monster. It's like that one Best of the Worst movie with the abortion baby demon that gets like flushed down the toilet and then it becomes like a monster and it like attacks the people in the abortion clinic. I think that's what's going on here, obviously. I can't believe you guys didn't figure that out before. It's embarrassing. The suckling, yes. Yeah, it's a bit of berserk, too. That's not Santa! No! Smiley there! Not smiley! Negative smiley!
Good morning, ladies and...
Yeah, it was basically an alien thing. It shows up and attacks the kids. So here's a guy giving a speech. His face has been blurred. He looks like he leads a cult.
Gentlemen, boys and girls.
This is like Heaven's Gate or some shit. This guy's dressed in like Star Trek uniforms.
My name is Arthur Greywinder. Many of you may know me as the founder of Harmony Play Incorporation.
That's, Is that him? Okay, so he's the one who made the toys then?
Play Incorporation. You may also know of my brother. For the sake of keeping our spirits lifted...
Wait, is this just the Anime Bro Me apology video? Yeah, I'm responsible, and also my brother did some things too. And, you know, I really fully take responsibility. Me and my brother, who was also there, he also takes responsibility. He's not here right now, but he takes responsibility too. Or at least I do. I take responsibility for him. I assign responsibility to him, more like.
We will not mention his name. However, we will not forget the damage that he has caused.
So the brother's evil. Okay, the brother is actually evil brother, and he, I guess, is the killer of the children or something, I guess? Okay.
As many of you are aware, I was announced dead 7 years ago.
Oh, this is such fucking garbage, dude. This is like the fucking Bold and the Beautiful of ARGs. What the fuck? I mean, it's not even an ARG. It's all just on some guy's channel that has, like, trigger warnings at the start of the fucking videos, but, like, horror series, whatever, analog horror shit, this is like a fucking soap opera. This is just melodramatic to the extreme. There's, like, childhoods. There's, like, it's... The scene with him and the wife, it's literally on par with, like, a Lost, like, Control-Alt-Delete scene with, like, Ethan and Layla. I could absolutely see that scene from the beginning, but it's just a Control-Alt-Delete comic instead of what we watched here or there. And now it's like a fucking fake death or something, an evil twin brother who dressed up as a clown. What the fuck, bro? What the fuck? Is this what happens when we let people watch The Flash?
After being lost for so long, I was finally found on February 21st, 1993, by our wonderful police department. As much as I'd like to celebrate with all the kind welcomings you've all prepared, and as much as I'd like to change things back to the way they were before the nightmares, I can't bring myself to do it. Even the skin upon my face is nothing more than a fake replica of the past. Yes, it is true. My face isn't what it used to be. I wear plastic on my face to appear like the rest of you.
Okay, I'm sure that looks great, yeah.
But if I took it off, you'd see the freak he turned me into.
I love this concept right now because they explicitly show you this part of his face or whatever, and it's like made of plastic, and I'm just imagining this horrific man made of a plastic face mask thing. It's like a fucking Elden Ring character. And he's just like, yeah, but if I took that off, I'd be a real freak. You're like, oh, damn, okay, damn, that's unfortunate. Wow. If it only gets worse from there, I kind of already thought you were a freak, but alright.
But if I took it off, you'd see the freak he turned me into. Why, just this morning I woke up. I rubbed my green eyes and I took a look in the mirror. I couldn't even recognize my own face. But then I smiled. I smiled and I saw myself. It reminded me that even though we may see ourselves as monsters, it's still us underneath.
Oh, I hate this so much. I'm done with this. I fucking hate this series. This series is trash through and through. It became a different kind of trash toward the end. Like, I'm fascinated by that a little bit because it started out in its own, like, bad way. And then it just got worse. I mean, in a different way. In a different way, it got worse. It's fascinating. It was not as cringe in the same way, but it became cringe in a different way, and it just became insufferable. Like, in a completely different fucking way. Amazing. I mean, really, that's quite something. What an awful series. Just in every way. I mean, in every way possible. At the beginning, it's one way. At the end, it's the other way. It covers all the bases. That's great. £5 from Void Daddy. Lacey's Games by Ghost Tundra. The series is based off of early 2000s Flash games for girls. It gets good on the third one, Lacey's Pet Shop. Alright. Alright. Okay. A digital horror tragedy. Okay. Ghost Tundra. Right. And, what am I looking for here? It's, Lacey's Pet Shop. I don't see that here. Unless it's not the YouTube channel. Hang on. Come on now. Yeah. Lacey's Pet Shop. So, it's an itch.io thing? Oh, it is games that I would need to play then? It is actual games. I thought it was just a thing called Lacey's Games. Okay. Well, not today. I might do like a spooky horror themed, like horror flash game day or something this month. That could be maybe a good horror stream. I think that could function. But yeah, disturbing girl games. All right. Well, I'll save that for another time. $5 from the Shadmock. Bro, we cannot see. And then $2 from Victor Rodriguez Martinez. This is truly a claw boomer moment. It was indeed. Yeah, I have no defense for that. $5 from Liquid Dinosaur. The Gilbert Gottfried impression is awful. It sounds like Kermit the Frog with a duck in his mouth. I don't think it's intended to be good necessarily. I don't think good is the operative thing, but it's you know, it's effective at being a weird shitpost, you know, so I think that's the main goal. $2 from Aurelius. Happy Halloweenus. That's right. Member for 2 months, Michael Morbius over here. Get a load of this fucking Michael Morbius member over here.
No, what you saw was cringe.
It's fucking cringe right there. Thank you. 2 months. Craigslist horror stories animated, specifically those by Llama Arts from 7 years ago, are a good time. Okay, that's an interesting one. Let's see. Llama Arts. Well, they still make stuff. No, don't play the fucking video. Somehow I accidentally opened a different fucking Harmony and Horror video. That's unnecessary. At some point I might watch more of that, but I don't see what more there is to even say about it. It's just shit. There's probably other parts of it that are funny that I haven't seen yet, though, so maybe it is kind of fun to have like a series and watch it out of order, and it's this ARG kind of thing where you gotta piece together the story, but it's like bad. So we're doing it out of like spite, and we're like, hey guys, you want to watch another Harmony and Horror? Maybe we'll finally figure out what that guy was all about, you know, something like that. That could be kind of fun. Llama Arts, it's Craigslist. True Craigslist horror story animated from 8 years ago. Another one with more views even from 7 years ago. And then one from 3 months ago that's like ripping off this style, called 3 True Craigslist Horror Stories Animated. But we'll do the first one here. They're only a couple minutes each. We'll do both of them maybe. We'll start with the first one here.
I was looking for a car to buy for my son for his 18th birthday. I was searching all the typical car websites, cars.com, eBay Motors.
Cars.com. So this is a guy who sounds like he's my age, and he has a car driving age son, apparently.
They were all overpriced as expected.
Oh, it's anime. It's anime.
Craigslist was the only place to find an actual deal. About a week into my search, I found an 03 Toyota Camry. It had 67,000 miles, no accidents, no damage, and good condition for only 30.
And it came out of the factory personalized for every user. This one was personalized for a boy who died under mysterious circumstances. I thought this was perfect for my son. I don't like him.
This seems like a steal for such a reliable car with such low mileage. The seller lived about 10 miles from me, which...
The seller lived about 10 miles from me. Yeah, you're picking up what he's putting down, chat members.
Was a reasonable drive when looking for a car. I gave him a call to set up a time to come check it out. The man sounded normal on the phone. He assured me that there were absolutely no problems with the car.
Oh my god, it's the guy who...
On the phone. He assured me that there were...
I can't believe it's the guy who abducted the fucking backyardigans, everybody. Now, pay attention to his lips here. Pay attention to his lips here, right? Pay attention to this.
That there were absolutely no problems with the car.
That is really decent lip sync for this animation. Like, it's so much... It's not that great or anything, but it's so much better. I just noticed that, like, wow, this is better than Velma. There are a lot of real shows that are on TV that have worse animation than that guy's lips right there. Don't even get into like anime when they dub it, you know.
He introduced himself as Bob. I brought along $3,500 in cash, even though I planned...
but the rest of this is like really awkward and bad, though. It does look like Flash games. I brought $3,500 in cash.
Himself as Bob. I brought along $3,500 in cash.
It's so overly animated. It's like really too detailed. Maybe the mouth movements are not an outlier, because like I'm like, that seems really decent for what this is, but everything is so animated. It's like too animated. I don't know what's... It's like disturbingly animated for some reason. I don't know what's up with... I don't know. I don't like it.
In cash.
Look at his hair blowing with cash.
No, I planned on wiggling down the price as much as possible. I pulled up the dirt road to Bob's property about 15 minutes early. It was a tiny little house with a decent-sized property, only because I was a bit far from the nearest neighbors. The garage was open, so I walked over to see if...
I was wildly off-model that evening, but you know, that's what happens under the moonlight.
I was inside, but except for an unusual amount of car parts, it was empty. The car was nowhere in sight. The only car on the property was an old pickup truck. I went over to the front door to check the house numbers. It was the right address. The doorbell button was missing, so I knocked on the front door. I knocked for exactly 5 minutes before deciding to give the man a call.
I knocked for exactly 5 minutes. I stood there for exactly 5 minutes going... Hello? Anyone home? Anyone? I don't think anyone's in here. Hello? My knuckles are getting tired. I see a truck outside. I'm gonna start using an open palm, okay? Hello? Nobody? Ah. Damn, I can't believe it didn't work.
So I dialed his number, and I heard the sound of a cell phone ringing from inside the house.
The call's coming from inside the house.
At this point. Now I knew I had the right house. I didn't understand why, if he was home, why he wasn't answering. I decided I had to take a peek through one of the windows to see if anybody was inside. Peering through the glass, I couldn't really see much as it was pretty dark inside the house. I saw a very old-fashioned dining room set, but across from that, I saw somebody standing at the back door of the house, staring outside. I figured that must have been Bob, so I knocked on the window, but he didn't even move.
Hey, you fucker!
There was no gate or anything to the backyard. It was just a wide open yard, since this wasn't a rural area. I simply walked around the house to the backyard.
This is about to turn into Hello Neighbor.
I didn't understand how he couldn't hear me. When I got to the back door,
Why is this animated like it's the game Flashback? What the fuck?
Shocking realization. The figure standing by the door was a taxidermied human being. I ran straight back the way I came and back to my car. I looked up one last time before driving off. The blinds to the window I had peeked into had been shut, but I could see two of the blinds bent open. Somebody was at that window watching me. You can probably guess I had the gas pedal to the floor the whole way home.
I mean, it was probably just like a fucking Halloween store corpse or something. I mean, it was probably not a real taxidermied human person. If this is even real at all. I mean, it says true on fucking... Whose fucking authority is it true? Do you have fucking pictures? What do you mean true? Oh, well, they said it's true. People wouldn't just lie on the internet, so it must be. Right. Okay.
The whole situation still makes no sense. All the car parts,
Yeah,
the fact that there was no Toyota Camry, the taxidermied human being, the fact that there was no car there leads me to believe that whoever that man was wasn't planning on selling me anything.
And he may have been Chinese.
That also leads to the disturbing thought that
What?
I was very close to becoming a lifeless statue staring out that man's back door.
Updated my journal. Oh, man, that is spooky. That's spooky stuff. Well, you know, if that's supposed to be based on a real Craigslist thing, like, I mean, I don't know. Where's the fucking... You don't have, like... They didn't have any fucking proof of the, like, the actual posting. Like, you don't... When that happens, you don't immediately look at the listing and take a picture of it and everything? You don't think to do that? No? Don't have that, huh? But it's true, though. It's true. Don't worry. It's true. This is an extraordinary, outlandish thing that is largely unlikely. But again, even if it did happen, I don't know. It could just be some guy playing a fucking joke on someone. I mean, and you're the joke. So I mean, good. I guess good story. This one's a little longer. This one's 5 minutes.
This story took place a long time ago, back in 2002, when Craigslist was in its early years. Many wouldn't know, but back in those days, Craigslist was a lot different.
Oh, hell yeah. We got the fucking Windows XP. We got the Sony monitor. We're looking for garage sales, finding a Furby, you know. This is the day. We got some real attention to detail here. We got a PS1. There's a PlayStation 1. I mean, it is 2002. Yeah, you know, but 2002, people are selling their old PS1s on Craigslist, and they're fucking buying a PS2 at the Zellers or whatever, at the Kmart. You know, so this is great. The attention to detail, I really appreciate.
It was a lot more so an online garage sale, or just a place where people would list old things that still had some value that they were willing to give away.
Bit dark for 2:30. Well, it's, you know, October, and he lives in Saskatchewan, so it's always dark there, you know. Romana just took over his town. It's been a very trying time.
Had a basketball hoop, a hockey net.
Basketball hoop, yeah, the basketball hoop. Yo, why'd you put the fucking ball in the basketball hoop? I didn't ask you to put it in there. God damn it.
And a spoiler for my car, all three in perfect condition in that same year. You'd be lucky if you found something like that these days. Anyway, me and my son were dying to buy a hockey net so we could practice in the
Me and my wife's son.
cul-de-sac we lived in. For the record, this was before I got that free one I mentioned. Wouldn't you know it, on Craigslist there was an ad for a slightly used regulation-size hockey goal for only $50. It came with a puck and 2 slightly used hockey sticks. I still have a picture of that ad to this day. It seemed like the perfect deal, but he lived about 2 hours away.
Well, Dad.
It seemed like the perfect deal.
Well, Dad, who looks nothing like me. You want to go, buy a hockey thing? Father, who looks like he's played by fucking Keanu Reeves? Sure, Mark Hamill, child. Absolutely. Luke Skywalker, child.
But he lived about 2 hours away.
It's not even Keanu Reeves, it's like Orlando Bloom or something.
I called the number he had listed, and he sounded pretty normal on the phone. He had a pretty deep, dark voice, but nothing that would be
He
off.
looks like a Wojak if he had hair. Like, if you took the hair off of this guy... If you took the hair off of this guy, he would just be a fucking feel guy. He would just be that feel when wife's son forces me to buy him some stupid shit. You know, like, that's...
Pudding. I remember his voice being a bit emotionless.
A deep, dark voice.
He agreed to meet halfway due to the distance. Said he'd put the stuff in the back of his pickup truck. He said he could only come after he got off from...
Can the son be a Wojak, too? This, like... I don't know, this horrifying... This is like children in the game Fable, where they just look like weird little tiny adults with disproportionately sized heads, and well, I guess everybody in that game looks fucking ugly. Everybody in that whole series looks ugly. You know, it's really funny. There was a trailer for Fable 4 where people were really up in arms because the character that they showed off was like a lady, and she wasn't super attractive, I guess, and people were like, feminism! And I'm just like, bro, have you played any Fable game? Every character in that series is hideous. It's an ugly, awful-looking series. All of them, like, by design, they look like this. Come on now.
Work, though, which was much later in the day. Way past dark. We agreed to meet at some rest stop off the highway. Me and my son, who was 11 at the time, took my wife's minivan. The only...
Oh my goodness, what minivan? This looks like the car that fucking Rainier Wolfcastle drove in that one Simpsons episode where he takes up the entire freeway or whatever.
Car that would be able to fit that.
No miles to the gallon.
Within an hour,
mega
we were at
van.
the truck stop, which was empty at this hour, but was decently lit by 3 big light posts. I parked right under one of the lights and waited.
We were down here in what appears to be rock bottom from SpongeBob. Yeah, everything was fine. Everything seemed normal.
A pickup truck pulled in off the highway right on time. He stopped right in front of me. I went over to his window, but then noticed there was nothing in the back of his truck. "You Steve?" he asked me. "Yep, that's me."
You here to
I
buy
said.
the stuff?
Alright, my buddy's bringing in the stuff with his truck. The guy pulled up behind my car and put it in park. I suddenly had a bad feeling. I told my son to get back in the car and...
More like, I suddenly had a dad feeling. Oh, I kid myself. Oh.
lock every door except mine. 2 more pairs of headlights came off the highway into the lots, surely enough pulling up next to me. And, not surprisingly at this point, there was no hockey equipment in either one of them. My heart was racing. I was worried. Not for me, but for my young son who I for some reason brought with me on this trip.
Who I for some reason brought with me in this comically oversized van car thing that looks like it's from the future. This looks like a Star Wars car.
A group of large men mixed with heavy-set and muscular physiques,
Deep and dark men,
stepped out of the 2 pickup trucks behind the first one. They eyed me from head to toe, giving that typical intimidation stare down.
They kept saying to me things from generic thug NPCs in video games. "You like the sight of your own blood," one of them shouted at me. "It looks like the freaks come to play," said another one. It was horrible.
Then
One
this
of them just asked whose footprints these were.
bald guy wearing sunglasses said in a deep voice, "Where's the money?" I instantly pulled out my wallet and handed it to him, begging him to just let me and my son go.
Yeah, Kerry King from Slayer, or Walter White, however you want to look at that. Yeah.
He pulled out like $100 and was pissed, expecting more. He then sent two of his...
Why did he comment on their physique? I guess to show that he was intimidated and they were like big, burly, tough guys. But it just kind of comes across as like they were some really, really well-built guys. They were fit. And I mean fit, sister.
...goons or whatever to get my son.
It's
At this point, I screamed and begged for him not to take him. One of the men broke the glass to the minivan back door, and I vividly remember the disturbing, heartbreaking screams of my young son. What happened next?
No, Johannes! No!
What I can only explain to be a miracle from God answering my prayers. A car was entering the lot from off the highway. All the men stopped and turned to look at it. As it got...
I don't know why they would like in the fiction of this fake, real, true story that we're listening to here. I don't know why they would want to, like, fucking kidnap this kid or whatever. This guy's buying, like, a $50 thing. It's not like he's a fucking Rockefeller over here. What do you what do you think you're gonna get for this fucking middle-class guy's kid? I mean, like, what are you shooting for? Okay.
Closer.
The guy, I mean, I guess he is driving the mega van, so they're probably pretty loaded.
My heart literally dropped in excitement as I saw it was a police car. The lights suddenly began to flash as he got close enough to see what...
hang on, I need to make a poll in chat real quick. I need to make a poll in chat. Yeah, the kid does have kidneys, that's true. Or. Okay. Discuss. Vote amongst yourselves.
...was going on. All of the men were back in their trucks within seconds, speeding off down the highway. Well, at least two of them. The truck in the back was caught immediately by the police car, and backup arrived shortly. I explained everything to them, and they got the men that were caught to rat out on the others surprisingly quickly.
I don't know, I gotta say, Sean is leading. I kind of like Jason because it's the way he specifically says it in that one line, that one voice clip that is like Jason. It's very funny. I don't know. I like Jason.
Luckily,
better.
The guys in the back truck weren't very loyal to whoever their leader was, if they even had any type of leader. Believe it or not, I had a police escort all the way home to make me and my son feel safer.
Believe it or not, even though I was driving in the largest vehicle that's ever been produced for civilian for civilian purposes, I had a police escort right there, and I really did. I did feel safer. It did help me. I didn't get rammed off the road by any punks.
I don't want to get into all the legal stuff, but I'll just say that all of those men except for one was caught. And I'm pretty sure that was the driver of the first pickup truck. Needless to say, my Craigslist days weren't over at that point, but I have always been much more protective of my son, and much more cautious of Craigslist meetings since then.
I mean, I just love that he brought the fucking son along. I mean, it doesn't say, I don't think it said anywhere, maybe it did, but I don't think it said anywhere that it was like a dark and stormy night. It might have said that it was a nighttime or something. Like it was a little later, maybe. I don't know what it said. Maybe it didn't even mention it at all. I don't know. But I feel like this is definitely played up to be more dramatic and everything. But under any circumstances, I mean, I don't know why your kid needs to be there. Wouldn't you want to, like, surprise him with it or something? I guess the kid saw the thing and was like, let's get it. But even then, it's like, what the fuck good is the kid gonna do? He's just gonna get in the way. He's just gonna, just do it and bring it home for him. Let him play his PlayStation or whatever. Yeah, you just would. Okay, that's fine. He got he didn't get the thing, but he made out with his son, and all but like one of those guys got caught, so it's all fine. It's gravy. And I'm sure that all totally happened. This one's a little bit more believable, I guess, than I mean, it still doesn't seem true. I don't think I buy this. It's a little more believable, though, than the fucking... Than the human skin suit taxidermy person or whatever the fuck from that other one, which I just do not buy that happening. But you know, who knows? $5 from Car. If you want more, check out if you want more, check out more weird analog animation. Look into Jack Stauber. Opal was pretty good and unsettling. It was on AS at one point. Well, maybe. I'm looking for, maybe, potentially. I'll take a look at it. I don't want to rule anything out, you know. Because it might be something funny. It might be something interesting. You know, I can see what you're saying. There's a creepy baby here. There's a lot of, it's like claymation type of stuff. You know, and I don't know if this is exactly what we're looking for. This is not really quite. This is contextualized as just being strange animations, you know. Whereas what we're looking for is stuff that's like supposed to be like a lost episode of something, you know, ARG bullshit. But this definitely looks interesting. A lot of different styles here. This is not like a genre of thing I normally watch on stream or off. You know, is like weird animations and stuff. I don't really watch this kind of thing, but it all looks interesting. It reminds me of when I was like a little kid and I would see, what is Baby Hotline? Let's watch this one. When I was a little kid and I would see fucking, there was like an IFC channel that had, I think it was the IFC channel, the International, or the Indie Film channel or something. And it had this like Saturday animation thing that I would watch that was just this very strange and surreal shit. And I watched that for a little bit. It was like 2002 or something. I have no idea what the fuck it was that I watched. It was just very odd, and I still see it in my dreams. And a lot of the animation stuff on here kind of looks like that. But what's Baby Hotline? Is this anything like a baby contest?
Baby hotline, please hold me close to you. Baby flatline, still time to do it too. Baby snack time, chow down to it.
Well, that's all well and good, but it's not very horror. What is this one?
Each day when her parents would head off to church, Sabrina would open the cupboard and search, for inside she knew lived a miniature man.
Oh, there he is.
Who'd made his home behind their lima bean can.
That looked very real, didn't it? But you knew it couldn't be true. Oh, this is the House Hippo commercial all over again, man. He's hiding behind the lima beans. You know, and who doesn't like lima beans, honestly? I always thought lima beans got a bad rap. When I was a little kid, I tried them, and I'm like, these are pretty alright. But Arthur the Aardvark, he fucking hated that shit. I don't know what his problem was.
And he'd sing her this song.
Pick me up with the spoon and tie me to a balloon and I think...
Okay, alright. Well, that's interesting, but it's not really horror in that way. It's kind of strange, though. That's pretty cool. 414 from Exiled Postman. I suggest The Chickening by Nick Denboer. I'm going to change his name around to DeBoner. I think that would be better, but to the Chickening. Let's see here. Is there anything like the Thinning? Chickening. Chicken chaser? You chase chickens? I got Fable on the mind today. Alright. Classic film remix by Nick Denboer and Davey Force. The Chickening. And it's a mix of... well, it's The Shining, I guess. Oh man, Cinnaballs. They made Fuck Force 9. It was way better than Fuck Force 5, but I gotta say, oh, this is some Neil Breen. The Breenius has come to play. So this logo here, this like cog kind of looking, whatever it is, hexagon thing, I feel like this was stolen from something. It might have been the B movie. I'm not sure what it's from, but I feel like this logo, it's very generic, but I feel like I've seen it before. But there's lots of stuff here that's superimposed in, and Wow. Looking great. Looking great.
Cluck, 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 and goes the chicken and the chick.
I mean, it's a fun thing, I guess. They're trying to make this wacky new thing based on the Shining. It's okay, and they gave her a weird eye and everything.
Chicken is my favorite food. I'll eat the wings and I'll eat the breast. Chicken, it is the best.
Oh man.
Welcome to Chawbay's Chicken World.
Okay, I see. I get you. This is quite something. This is quite something. Is this just an ATI GPU over here? I don't know. But a restaurant, resort, chicken world, and well, this definitely actually very much looks like the third island from Sonic Frontiers, so I'm having really horrible flashbacks right now.
World and Restaurant Resort. This is the largest fast food entertainment complex in North America, with a subterranean farm, a power plant, and the world's only magma-heated chicken blast fryer. Now, you be the new senior chief night manager. Now, does that sound like what you're looking for?
Well, that sounds fine to me.
Yuck, you call this a sandwich?
So, well, I've never seen anything quite like this before. This is a very unique thing. I don't know if this is... I guess you'd call this kind of comedy horror. It's got a bit of a horror theme insofar as the Shining is sort of a horror film. Sort of, I guess. It's kind of like a thriller, psychological horror type of thing. But this is a chicken horror instead, which is, of course, in and of itself silly. So is this all just a big joke to you? I guess it is. But they've got a digital de-aging technology on par with Disney. I think this is the kid from that last real true story that we looked at, but just in real life. Or it might be the kid from Home Alone 3. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I know. Tastes like shit.
What about Tony? What about me? Get back in the kitchen and make me a real sandwich before I give you a crack in the mouth. Maybe straighten out your eyes.
Well, that's well. Okay. I don't really have anything to even fucking say to this. I do feel like this logo was taken from something, but I do not know what it is. I think I'm good on this, cause I don't know. It's kind of horror. I guess it is. I don't know. This feels like something legit, like you just go watch it on his actual channel. Really. This is a cool thing. It's very, very strange, but it's a cool thing. I don't know. Maybe go check that out on your own. Check out what other stuff he has. I don't think it's quite what I'm looking for here, but it is quite something. It's very interesting. I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't know what's happening. I don't have anything to even say about that. I don't have anything to even say about that. I'm at a loss for words. $10 from Aurelius. The chicken gets absurd. The chicken. Oh man. Oh, it's in my brain now. The story gets absurd later on. I hope you keep reading it. We're talking about the Backyardigans thing. Maybe a series. You can find the whole thing on fan fiction. Can't type that last word correctly, otherwise it won't send. Yeah, no, it is only 3 chapters, but they're all quite long. I skimmed the second one, and I did not even look at the third one. If it gets much, much worse in the third one, then that's something. And then $5 from Aurelius. The person who wrote this is fucking obsessed with the Backyardigans, like, to a creepy extent. Okay, well, that would be an interesting person to look into in general, then, in some deeper extent, because if they have any other kind of YouTube or anything where they document their day-to-day life, that would be pretty good. Always nice to find more insight into these people and, you know, content and whatnot. But yeah, we could maybe look more at it if it gets significantly worse. I don't know. That was quite a fucking series. That was quite a fucking segment. When we were looking at that. That was a whole thing. £5 from Harrison Fisher. Paul 4608. He has another channel called Paul Foster. Okay, well, hang on. Wait. Paul Foster. Oh, this is him, isn't it? It is. Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for letting me know he has another channel. He has a roast beef and pyramid buns and all this stuff. He disappeared from his other channel for several years. It said 9 years ago and then 2 years ago were the space between the videos. This channel he's been, I guess, was occupying that gap. Because 8 years ago, and then the last video was 3 years ago. So in the space between... That's fucking strange. That's fucking strange. Okay, well, absolutely saving this. That's getting saved for later. I don't know. I mean, fuck. I want to just watch it now. God damn it. I think we should maybe just watch it now. I'm gonna end the poll, by the way. Sean still won with 57%. That is a shame. That's a little bit of a shame. Jason is definitely better. But, you know, the people have spoken. That's fine. That's fine. I'm not salty about it. I'm not mad or anything that Jason didn't win. Yeah, this guy's other channel here. I don't know. Does this look of interest to you, though? I mean, like, does this really count as spooky horror Halloween stuff? This doesn't sound very Halloween. Sean! It's a crime to be honest. Yes. I mean, cookies. None of this is like Halloween, technically. It's not spooky enough. It's... Alright, I'll watch him make fish cakes.
What we want to do first is grease a section of foil better than I'm doing now. You slightly go over it with grease. Then you want to put your skinned haddock. I skinned this earlier. It's not easy to do that.
Haddock.
On your foil. On your greased foil.
Okay, so fish cakes, right? So I would view and envision a fish cake generally, typically, as being like a thing with like a tuna or maybe something like that. You know, kind of mash it into a thing with like crackers and there's some spices and stuff, and you know, maybe add a little bit of mayonnaise or something, and you form it into like a patty. Like that's kind of what I think of as like a fish cake. But he's just doing something here that features a thinly sliced haddock on a greased sheet of aluminum foil, and I really don't know what's going on here. I don't know what to... Okay, it's fine.
And sprinkle with pepper.
Oh, no. No, you can make a fish cake that's good. You put in some, like, paprika, you know, or, you know, depending on what you want in there. You could do, like, a French onion soup fish cake kind of thing with a little bit of French onion soup thing. You could do some paprika, chili powder, that kind of thing. Maybe some cheese would even work. It could work. It could work. It's not an untenable concept. I've had good fish cakes. Don't put down fish cakes. It's a good concept. I don't know what the fuck he's doing here, though.
You don't want so much pepper on.
Same with like a crab cake or something. Like that's what I'm picturing anyway, but I don't think that's what he's making.
Preferably black pepper. Sprinkle it.
Hello, welcome late to the stream. We're at this point totally definitely watching something that's horror and Halloween related. Absolutely. Don't worry about it. We totally are. Listen, I read like a gore fiction thing about backyardigans for like an hour, so I can give myself this.
Over with pepper. Gosh, you don't want a lot. Then you need to put it into the oven for 15 minutes or 20 minutes until it's more or less cooked.
Okay, alright, he's just cooking the fish. Alright.
One thing I should have mentioned at this point is that before you put it into the oven, you need to wrap it up. Wrap your foil around it just like that.
Okay.
And put that in oven for about 20 minutes.
Put that in oven.
I might mention at this point that the recipe calls for 14 ounces of haddock, but I only got...
Potatoes? Why are there potatoes? Man, this is open concept fucking cooking. You call the video fish cakes. And you've got fish, and then that's just the fucking, you just boogie down for the rest of it, man. Whatever, jam the fuck out. The rest of the ingredients are optional, it seems. Whatever else is going into here. This could be a fish and gravy on potatoes recipe. This could be fish cakes. This could be... I have no idea what could happen here. This is going in all directions, everywhere at once.
7 ounces, so we're using 7 ounces of haddock, and next thing to do is to boil some potatoes, and you need to boil these until they're mashed and soft, so that might take a while. While these are boiling, fish can be cooking.
Various British noises.
Then it gets left to cool. You might want to add a bit of salt at this stage.
Most interesting British man.
Because it calls for salted water. Sprinkle about half a teaspoon of salt in. Mix it round. And just wait for them to cook.
Shouldn't you, like, wait for the water to boil before you... I guess it doesn't matter. But that's typically what I do. So we boil the tater.
When your spuds have boiled, then you want to mash them.
You've mashed your spuds. So we're making mashed potatoes with our fish cakes? Uh-huh.
I don't think I've left them to boil.
I mean, for all I know, he might not even be fucking this up. This might just be one of those recipes that Europe has fucked up, that Britain has fucked up. One of those things that's just like some inedible weird shit that they apparently just have for breakfast every day over there. Which I'm sure British viewers can attest to, like, some of that fucking spotted dick and blood pudding bullshit.
Long enough, really.
Haggis.
I've still got fish in oven, and that's...
Yeah, the video is 5 million bajillion years old. It looks kind of like an episode of Faulty Towers from, like, the 70s, but I believe it was filmed 7 years ago, so, you know... It's a little
cooking
old.
Nicely.
Cooking nicely.
Smash them in like that. You don't want to do it too much. You don't want them too soggy and stick.
What the fuck are you doing now? What is this? You got a stick?
It's breaking half a cinnamon stick.
What is going on? Oh my god. I can't deal. This is the SMT chaos ending where nothing matters and everything is permitted. Cinnamon stick in your mashed potatoes for your fish cakes, while wood is a drink that you are consuming intravenously. Welcome to the spooky horror Halloween stream. There's cinnamon in the mashed potatoes. Please enjoy.
One small sprig of rosemary. A very small sprig.
That works.
And
it's a stick of cinnamon. What the fuck is he gonna do with these potatoes that's gonna make this stick of cinnamon, like, soften up? Because that's not gonna eat well. That's not gonna eat up good. That's gonna be crunchy and weird and get stuck in your teeth and be awful. That's gonna be awful.
Tends to stink.
This is a joke, right? This is a joke.
Very nice about rosemary. Then stir it round.
Well, also,
Yeah,
rosemary is also a very crunchy herb if you don't cook it for, like, an hour or two. It'll probably be, like, kind of a crunchy thing that you notice while you're eating. Or not crunchy, but, like, you know, it'll be a hard thing. So, this is going to be a supremely unpleasant bowl of mashed... It's like eating mashed potatoes with a bunch of needles.
Pungent is rosemary.
Oh, and the potatoes are awful and dry. You didn't add any butter to them.
As a room scent, as long as you use it sparingly. Next thing you want is half a teaspoon of mustard.
More mustard.
Fairly potent stuff is mustard, so I'm not a big fan of it, so I'll use half a teaspoon.
Well, Almighty Lolly says I think it's supposed to be mixed with the fish, so maybe the fish oil breaks down the taters and spices. I guess maybe, but then it's like, so maybe he mixes okay, what I'm assuming at this point is that he's gonna mix the fish with the potatoes and then put that in the form of fish cakes and then like bake those or something. I don't know, or fry them or something like that. I don't know, because I don't know at what point this becomes fish cakes.
Half a teaspoon of salad cream.
And what's weird about this is that he's not like completely insane like Cobra. He's not adding like Doritos and fucking lobster and dried snails or whatever. He's just adding like rosemary and sour cream and, you know, cinnamon bark. Like a bunch of fucking cinnamon bark. So it's like, you know, it's mostly normal. It's mostly just kind of bad but normal, but then he'll add in something that's completely out there, which is really, really fun.
A little drop of sour cream. Then just stir that in. Stir that all in.
Stir it in.
It's quite a simple recipe, this is.
Oh, it is.
Not complicated about it. But about half a cupful of lemon juice. Very sparingly. Stir it round. Break your haddock up.
He's got so much shit in here and he's got barely any potatoes, but I guess if he's doing what I think he might be doing, then maybe that's fine.
Cut it into chunks.
The haddock there, alright, he's cooked up the haddock. And it's
Small
looking
chunks
alright.
and drop it into mashed
right.
potato.
But this isn't cakes yet, sir.
It's at about 20 minutes in oven, so it should be okay.
Oh, it was in the oven for 20 minutes, so it's fine? I don't think... Well, it's very thin fish. It looked like it was very thin pieces, so maybe, but...
Might not be the best way of doing it, but it's the way I'm doing it. Fishing with mashed potato.
Hang on. A song. A song for the wonderful, the wonderful mixture here. You know, this is what plays in my soul when I see what he's making here.
The way I'm doing it. Fishing with mashed potato. I'll just mix it nicely.
Just mix it all up.
Stir it up, my pretties! Fish heads and potatoes and cinnamon for taste!
Stir that in. The way to do this is to sprinkle breadcrumbs on a baking tray.
Right? What? So breadcrumbs are involved in this process. Like a regular fish cake. Again, it's hard to determine whether or not this is crazy people cooking or if it's just British.
And pour some olive oil on.
And the scariest part is he doesn't even sound drunk.
So we'll stick to the fish cake.
Oh, that's a lot of olive oil there. Wow, that's a lot.
Pour it on like that. And make up your fish cakes.
Indian fish cakes?
Divide into sections.
That sounds pretty good.
Like that. Into little fish cakes.
What the fuck are you doing? What a...
Oh.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Loud then!
Pour some olive oil on.
Amazing. This, you know what this is? I'm confident in declaring this the British fish equivalent, maybe the Filet-O-Fish to Iron Wrath's pizza burgers, Big Mac. This is to the pizza burger. Like that, this is the same thing. It's that, but it's fish. 'Cause it's supposed to be like a patty thing that you form in a way and you do this thing. And instead he's just throwing some breadcrumbs at some fucking mixed up fucking fish meat. And like, I mean, this is absolutely absurd.
And leave in oven for about half an hour on gas mark 4. And now you have it.
Well, it's probably a little better than the pizza burger because it's like, you know, got some herb in it. I guess it maybe the cinnamon might have softened, but it's still got cinnamon in it. So, and it's still got giant barky chunks of cinnamon too, like that'll get stuck in your fucking teeth. They do kind of look a little bit like fish cakes, I guess, in this horrible low-res video that we're watching.
So it looks a bit of a mishmash and they're a bit misshaped, but that's basically how to make fish cakes.
I mean, you could have maybe just made fucking patties or something, but that's it. That's the story. Fish cakes from Paul Foster. Great channel. We're gonna save the channel. I'm loving the channel. Gonna save the channel. So I'm gonna probably end the stream after these super chats here. Thank you everybody for watching. I'm gonna wind it down. I gotta do some some eating, and then we've got a podcast to do in a little bit, so I will probably call it here. We've done some extensive horroring as well as, well, you know, technically Paul's video there wasn't horror, but again, it's like the stuff that we find on the non-spooky streams is often more scary. I started the stream, one of the people in chat was like, watch more Skippy, that's scary, and I'm like, you're right! You know? But, and that's scary in a much more real and you know, actual way than a lot of the fucking harmony and horror shit or whatever. We did a lot of horror, we did a lot of spooky, we did a lot of, there was gore, there was ARG, there was fucking bad cooking, which is always a fear in and of itself, having tried a lot of these things now. $5 from Aurelius, can we please just stop with this whole bait and switch innocent kids show BS and horror, please? Yeah, I mean, it keeps happening. There was one like a year ago or something that was getting really popular, and it was like, I don't know. It might have been Gartenda Ban. I don't know. I don't remember. But there was something that was like, I think it was actually that it was like they're in like a bunch of kids, like weird puppet things that are in like a fucking nursery or something, and it's all a dream or something. I don't know. some stupid garbage, and it's very much on par with shit like that, and yet people like the like ratios on that are almost unanimously positive. It's nobody is pushing back against that and saying this is not scary and this is cringe and this is embarrassing. It's funny. I mean, it's not it's not like it's not entertaining, you know. $5 from Brainwashed Zebra. Not quite horror, but I'm at Home by No Budge is an oddly eerie short about burnout. Either way, have a beer on me, and thanks for the trash. Well, I appreciate it. I'm at home. Let's see. By No Budge. Well, I mean, this fella here... This just looks like Old Dirty Bastard in like pajamas or something. So maybe I'll do this another time. I'll save this. I don't know if this would... You say it's not really scary or whatever. Not really. It's oddly eerie though. I could probably do that on a spooky stream. I'm trying to figure out whether I do that for non-spooky or regular spooky. I guess that counts as spooky. That could be spooky. I suppose. Let me see here. $2 from Autistic Wolf. $2 for a quick skibbity toilet impersonation, please. Skibbity bop bop beep. There you go. May has become a member. May. Dame right there. Thank you for joining. I hope you're having fun. $2 from Get That Griff. I sorry for showing you H&H Claw walk in the rain. No, it's okay. You never have to apologize for that. Absolutely never have to apologize for that. $5 from Bounden2. Hey man, love watching your channel and reacts to the Mario Man children. Keep it. Alright. There's no up at the end of that sentence, so I guess just keep it. You know what? Keep it to yourself, buddy. You know, thank you. I love watching your channel, but yeah, why don't you just keep it to yourself? Well, thank you. $10 from Queen Nidus. To be fair, a kid can bring in lots of money if you market it to the Epsteins of the world for the next 6 to 8 years, and then a couple grand after you harvest the kidneys and other stuff. That's true. You know, the kidneys are like that's free real estate right there, and the Epstein, you know, the Epsteins of the world, yeah, you can definitely sell in that way. I suppose that would make some sense. $10 from Mr. Midnight 1448. The Beyond Creepy YouTube channel would be a good contender. Beyond Creepy YouTube channel. What are we looking at here? Beyond Creepy. Oh boy, is this gonna be another fucking... Oh god, this is like that one that we looked at that was like really embarrassingly fake and shitty. Robot Dolls, the Jamble School Encounter, the Waiver Tree Bus Incident, Missing Time at CFB Trenton, and more weird accounts. Receding Streets When Reality Pulls Away, Unexplained Phone Calls, the Palencia Ringhead Entity, and more. There's one called the Sandaman Entity with an E. Sandaman. So yeah, there's some entities and stuff. There's some experiences and stuff. There's one about people teleporting. So teleport Mario. You know, it's always good. I'll save this for later. This does remind me of that one that we looked at that was just supremely trash. Saved Paul Foster twice there. That's good. $5 from Aurelius. You already did. Remember the Shadow Reader? Man, already did what? Wait. I already did what? Hang on. What did I already do? I mean, I did some horrible fucking fanfic today. Yeah, I did some... I did that. I did the Shadow... Was that the Shadow Reader? The fucking Backyardigans guy? That was Shadow Reader? Because the people were talking about that. I'll have to look more into him as a person in general. Bring me TFE Sandy Claus. Dogs eating dogs, sex watching and horror. Well, somebody super chatted and their message is retracted, so that's unfortunate. I'm sorry for you, disgusting seal. $2. I'm sorry. What podcast is Deadwing on? The Loud Equals Funny podcast. You can go check it out with me, Bane, and Tristan. Loud Equals Funny podcast. Look it up, Loud Equals Funny, on Spotify or YouTube or wherever your podcast needs are generally met. Loud Equals Funny podcast. Shadow Reader did a Lost episode about Paw Patrol. Oh man, more Lost episodes, huh? No, I'm just confused by this chat because it says you already did, and I'm like, wait, what did I do? Oh god, what did I do? I don't remember. Grace became a member. Thank you very much. Thank you. $5 from Autistic Wolf. Imagine having an entire historical empire based on sugarcane and spices and primarily making only the blandest food known to man. Oh, mate, beans and toast. Well, listen, beans are all right. Come on now, there's some okay beans out there. You can have some good baked beans or something. But yeah, no, it is funny because it is generally accepted that Britain has just the blandest fucking food outside of like Midwestern America, where they think ranch is spicy, that kind of thing. Britain is known for having extraordinarily bland food, where they cook it in special ways to blandify it even further, like how they boil the meat and stuff. And yeah, considering how many people's lives Britain ruined over the course of history in the name of spices, it is really quite funny, actually. It's a black comedy, if you think about it that way. $2 from Get That Griff. Maybe an H&H stream for my birthday, December 1st. I mean, I don't know what I would have to say for a full H&H stream, though. I mean, I could do some more out-of-season spooky stuff, potentially, but I mean, I've kind of exhausted what there is to even say about them at this point. Like, I could watch more of their videos, and it would just basically be me going, like, this is garbage. The only value I could see is because now we kind of know, we have some direction where the story is. It would be kind of fun to piece together, you know, the crappy story and you know, laugh at that, I guess. That could be pretty fun. For a full stream, I'm not sure. But, you know, I could see myself looking at more of their stuff in the future, for sure. And there's other stuff on that channel. There's other series and shit. And it all looks very, like, appropriately, it looks fairly geared toward children in a lot of ways. So, that's kind of funny. Let me see here. Well, that'll do it for us. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for, wait. What I sent through the super chat was to invite Leather for a Greeny Phantom stream. Who? What? Greeny Phantom? Okay. Phaetom. Sorry. Phaetom. Right. Phaetom. I've heard that name. I do remember Greeny Phaetom. I've heard that before. You say you retracted it because it's not good enough for a full stream. Well, I've heard of Greeny Phaetom. I might have looked at it. Oh, I would definitely say it's most likely not good enough for a full stream, but, you know, it's got something going on. We could look at some of it at some point. Not today, but at some point. Potentially. So thank you, everybody, once again. I'll see you again next time. We won't be doing exclusively horror stuff. Again, we'll probably do something that winds up scaring everybody, but it won't be intended that way. It'll just be a fun accident, just like Skippy the other night. Last night, in fact. We might look at more Skippy, actually, because I would love to look at some more of that fucking guy. But we might space it out a little bit. It's also been just long enough, like a week or two, that we might even want to look at some train people, some Mario people, you know, some puppet people, I don't know, plushy people. We might have to look into some of that. So tomorrow, maybe next day, I don't know. But you know, with that being said, gamers, arigato gozaimasu, konnichiwa desu, and stay nappy. Arigato ne.